people to miss out on this even.
There we go.
Like,
we got it. It's live. We are live. This is Kazum. We've got Sullen and Stizor here, and the subject matter is initially the rape clothing, so to speak. But I was talking a little bit before we got into that, about how I just wanted to reiterate to Stizor, because he was saying I shouldn't have apologized for that video that I made about that referenced the father of someone who had been killed by Elliot, and I was just like, I had to make an apology for that. I felt that I was heartless in my video on that. I should not have basically I was making fun of the guy whose son was killed. I didn't think of it that way when I made the video, but afterwards, it's like, holy shit, what did I just do? So I don't know. I felt obligated to apologize for that.
Okay, well, I will disagree and say that after watching the video, I felt you was justified in saying what you did. So people take it from different perspectives. I thought that father was kind of trying to do emotional blackmail on people. Oh, I'm hurt by this. You need to enact this because I'm hurt. Yes, that's there, but again, the way that I mentioned it, we have to do something. The way that I said it, I was making fun of him, and I shouldn't have. It's the way that I went about it.
Okay, I wish I knew more about this. I kind of have been out of the loop here. So what was he saying that we should do about it?
He was saying he doesn't want anyone in Congress or even the president to call him or contact him to tell him that they're sorry about his loss. He's saying, no, you need to do something to Congress needs to do something about this problem. And it's just like, and he wouldn't say what it was, but the real thing that he wanted is gun control. He wants gun control. He's saying that unless Congress does this stuff, he's not interested in having anyone talk to him. No, they have to do something. And so
no, I think that's what I'm saying. The sentiment in the video was the right direction. Maybe you looked at it and thought, oh my god, that was crass, but I think sometimes you need to be that way in order to get the message across of being objective. I don't think you took the piss or whatever. That's one. A lot of videos you seem to say, oh, I come this way, and I don't get that from your videos really. So maybe it's just how people see it, and maybe you reflect too much on what you say, where I would like you to just, well, that's my opinion again, right? So I'm guessing for me it's like just say what you fucking want, because that's more truthful than being a bullshitter. I think your videos, when you say what you mean, like with the whole Christian thing and stuff, that makes sense. If someone doesn't like your opinion, then get them fucking lie. Everybody's entitled to one, so,
Yeah, but I at least wanted to show that I'm thinking about what I'm saying, and I'm thinking about the ramifications of what I'm saying. I might be truthful. I mean, the thing is, if I would have deleted that video, that would have been, then you could have had the right to complain about, to tell me, hey, you shouldn't do that. Yeah. But I'm not deleting anything.
I don't know, I guess I look at it in a different way. It's like he just lost his son, and then you come out with that, and maybe it's like a little too harsh, a little too soon.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I think you did the right thing, apologizing.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to apologize. You could have just said, look, in like the about bar, like, the views were created in this expression, but the basis is true. I don't think you needed to make a video to justify your own, understanding of the heat of the moment. If I did that for every video, I would have 2 videos for every video that I made.
Oh, but see, but I don't do it very often, though. Last year I used to do it. That was that's when I was constantly second-guessing all my thoughts and actions and everything, but, until after August when I had my realization, but,
Oh, so you think that one is a bit more different in the sense like maybe you've used different words that you would have chose differently and stuff, or
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's understandable. That's understandable. Well, from my perspective as one of your subs, I would say there was no need. Now that's just my opinion, okay? So yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying you're not justified in making a re-justification of the latest video. I'm just saying, for my opinion, yeah, I don't see the need. But that's,
Okay.
like I said, that's my opinion.
Well, I don't know. From what I'm new around here, but from what I've been seeing, it's like I think we need to be a little more civil in what we say around here.
No, he was civil for me.
Well, I mean, like
but
making
he's saying
fun
he
of
wasn't
him,
civil to
you
himself,
know?
and well, I think what Kazum's saying is in the heat of the moment, he said a lot of shit, and he's saying he needed to clarify what he said, and that's him. I mean, it's his fucking video. He can do what he wants. So if he wants to re-clarify shit, that's cool. But from a subscriber point of view, I didn't see any need. And like I said, that's my opinion. So that's nearly my opinion. He was civil for me. You know, I don't think it's about being civil. I think what he's saying is he wants to just re-clarify his deeper meaning and, you know.
Yeah. Now the advice that irritates me when people are when people say that, oh, I should have really given it a lot more thought before I made the video, so I never have to do these apology things again. It's like, well, if I go too much into that, then I won't say anything. You know. So I've gotta be sometimes off the cuff at times, and then if I make a mistake, well, I apologize and move on, you know? I don't know. But why don't we go into the thing that the Hangout is titled after?
Yeah. Rape clothes.
Yeah.
Rape clothing. No, it's just, that thing just annoyed the hell out of my brain. There's no justification for some of the comments that were made on that video. And even though the fact, like, when I seen it, it was like loads of laughing because it was funny. And then someone could take it out of complete context and go, are you saying you saying people should get raped? I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's just bonkers. So I don't see how someone can misinterpret what you did as something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How does that happen? I mean, I can see how, obviously, because we're all individuals, but I thought that was blatantly obvious what you was doing, you know? Like, I didn't need a long-winded speech. I just did loads of laughing because it was funny. And, hello, Cameron, by the way.
Hey, Cameron.
Welcome to the,
Hello. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you all. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the what initially started this is I saw a oh no, now I can't remember her name, the feminist who she has the big glasses, she has the bangs and red hair, but not the jet red, not big red, but who's the one that people always talk, elevator gate lady?
Rebecca Watson?
Yeah, she had this video. She just put out some video recently saying, you know, talking more about how Thunderfoot is suggesting that, you know, the way that people dress is a factor to why they got raped. Or, I mean, he doesn't necessarily word it that way. People getting all over my case because of the way I say it, but it's just like, okay, he's saying that the chances of getting raped increase if you wear something, you know, skimpy.
Short, like a short skirt or whatever.
It's like, what? Because it just, someone who's...
That's blaming the victim of rape, right?
Yeah.
That's stupid. I mean, like, a lot of shit that Kazum's... That's why I kind of, like, backed Kazum up when we was in, like, the whole... if you was to see the comments to the video, I backed up Kazum. I mean, my comment was, like, identical to Kazum's in the sense, like, how can you even justify that? How can you say it's the woman's fault or a man's? Let's be gender equality here, right? Because I know Kazum's like into that, like me, the gender equality thing. How can you say it's anybody's fault?
I think a lot of people are so. I think there's. I mean, I want to word this right because, you know, this is such a touchy subject. But I think there's some validity to that. Not that it would be their fault, because I think that's total bullshit, and I think that's just grotesque to say. But I think that some people are so repressed sexually, whether that be from religion, from their society, from their culture, whatever it may be, that when they see a woman maybe or a man wearing more revealing clothes or what have you, that they just maybe can't handle it. And I don't think that is in any way, shape, or form the person's fault. Because I think, again, if anybody said that, there's no logic there. That's just an excuse.
That's you.
Hey guys.
Hey Epicurious.
Hello.
Hi.
To this
Before we get into genetic determinism right here and now, I just actually want to point out a few things. Most of the people who rape their victims tend to be people who are closely associated with them. Date rape is usually the most popular sign or form of it.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's in a form of quote-unquote sexual repression, more or less, but it's more along the lines of not showing. It's more along the lines of.
Well,
I'm not just talking about people.
Let him finish. He didn't finish his. He's along the more lines of what?
Yeah, go on, Geek.
I think it's more along the lines of time, event, environment, thinking of weighing the probabilities of whether or not you're getting caught. A lot of factors playing more than just genetics. All I'm saying.
No, we're not talking about genetics
Actually,
here.
yeah, we're talking about clothing. We're talking about how some people will say that, well, if you're going to this place and you are wearing something skimpy or revealing, then you're increasing your chances of getting raped by wearing that. And I'm just like, no.
Okay,
Has anybody heard of these street preachers who have went to colleges and like held up the signs that kind of convey this message?
Rape.
Oh, are you talking about the guy from Arizona State?
Yeah, well, that's been the most popular one, but there's been other ones, quite a few actually, unfortunately. And those people are more what I'm referring to. I'm not even necessarily referring to people who actually commit rape, but I think these people who are holding up these signs are saying it's the woman's fault. I think that those kind of people are so repressed that they don't want these women wearing these clothes because, and this is just purely within the realm of speculation.
No, but hold on.
Slut shaming is what this is about. They're trying to do slut shaming.
And they want them to take those. They don't want them to show that the cleavage or what have you, because they know according to the religion, they would go to hell or be a sinner if they.
No. We don't want to bring religion into this.
No, that's there. It's there.
No, that's fair. But I think it'd be good to stay on like the premise that we've got and then probably go into that. But the thing is, like, it's blaming the victim, right? It's like saying, it's your fault you dressed this way because of idiots.
Unfortunately, Sty, I think in this day and age. Unfortunately, Sty, I think religion comes into this.
Yeah, no, so I'm not. Hold on, dude, Cameron. I'm not saying we can't debate that. I'm guessing, that's going to be a part of the debate. I'm just saying is like what me and Kazoom were like focusing on is, let's say, the Western version of it, and then we can get into the religious aspects. But like for me and Kazoom, it's like, to blame the victim because someone's going to rape you. Whether you've got skimpy clothes on or not, you are going to get raped by said individual, and that's unfair on the person to dress a certain way. That's like, fascism or some shit.
I mean, it's also the same thing as, like I was saying, like if it's telling gay men that, oh, well, if you don't want to be harassed by anyone, then you should act really masculine. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, it's an act. It doesn't actually change who someone is. There's this, you put on different mannerisms, and they could argue that same sort of thing. And it's like, no, you don't tell people that. You don't tell people to change something they shouldn't have to change.
It's about. I think that hits the nail on the head. I think it's more along the lines of internalizing the problem in terms of don't blame the other person for invoking something within you. That you are the person who dumped on the victim. You internalize your problems if you have a problem with the way someone else acts and deal with it. That's what tolerance means. It doesn't mean liking what someone else does. It means specifically dealing with other people. When there's a baby crying on an airplane, I hate it, but I don't yell at the mother. I don't tell them.
You don't go beat the fucking child over the head kind of thing.
Exactly. You deal with it the best you can.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows how to deal with with other people, and that's a shame.
Well, that's what we're
Okay.
saying about the rape thing. We were saying, like, you know, if someone walks around in a skimpy dress, whose fault's that? It's not the person in the skimpy dress. It's your inability to control yourself. That's all. It's the other person. That's like blaming the victim, like we were saying, rape shame. Like that. The whole, where did that come from? Is fucking weird. Rape shaming and
Well, slut shaming in essence.
Slut shame, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
slut
well,
shaming,
I was
sorry.
That's
thinking
what
of
you
like
meant.
I
playing
just want
devil's
to apologize
advocate
to
here.
people who were in the combo.
What's
thing.
up?
What were you
Um,
saying?
Okay, I was thinking of playing devil's advocate here, and there were points raised that if you look at the statistics for rapes and whatever, and like different factors that went into them, should we just discount those kind of things, like what they were wearing, where they were, if they were with other people, what
Yes,
time of
they
night,
should
what
be discounted.
You,
I-
Yeah,
I think they
those
should.
things should be discounted because it was the rapist's fault for not being able to control his urges around a quote-unquote
I mean,
revealing outfit.
Yeah, let's be honest, right? A rapist.
I don't think that information is completely worthless. I mean, not in terms of saying that because you were wearing this you should have expected it, but but I think there might be maybe a forensic need for
That's fair.
what kind of clothing you're wearing. For example, if you were wearing clothing that was harder to maneuver around, then that means there's more of a case to be made that he was using force and aggravation, as opposed.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's expected to see some kind of mark on you, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
I think in terms of forensics context, maybe. Although I'm not a forensic expert.
No, I would say that's not justified. I would say that's academic, to be honest. I would say that if a rapist mentality is to overpower somebody else, regardless of any situation. I mean, a rapist mentality is the same as a person who's going to murder somebody. They are going out intentionally knowing exactly what they're fucking doing, and you are the lesser being, okay? So if I'm walking around scantily clad as a man, I mean, I don't want to... The thing is, people think of rape or whatever and think of women. But I don't think that's fair. More men get raped than women. That's just a fact.
What? No.
Actually, they do.
You're going to
It's
cite
the
that.
prison.
Yeah.
No, that's just a fact. Honestly,
What?
it is.
From
More
where?
men
In,
get raped than women.
in prison, yes. But
Yeah, and the prison
That's a whole different conversation. Though.
average population.
Exactly.
But, yeah, I know, but I'm trying to put it in a context, in the sense of, I don't want it to be gender specific, right? So I'm trying to even it out in the sense like it's got to do with
Unfortunately,
how we perceive
when it
people.
comes to this, at least outside of the prison system, which is again a whole different conversation,
Sure.
we're just talking about in the free world, where we're not
Right.
confined to a space.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Even though I don't want to be gender specific, because I do. I mean, I've met men who have been raped.
Okay, so
it's
what you're saying is
horrible.
you have to be gender specific in the sense the
Yeah,
word.
it is gender specific because a lot more women, unfortunately, do get raped than men.
Well, a lot
Or
more
like a
women get raped.
tenfold.
That's not reported. I will admit that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we don't have the full statistics because there are a lot less, even because there are even a lot of women who don't report it. So we don't even know the full statistics on this. But
That's true.
when it comes to
I
men,
will
it
agree
like
with
it doubles. I mean, it goes to the fucking moon because men don't want to report that kind of thing. You know?
No, because
it's-
it goes against their masculinity, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't want us to say it's. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to make it gender. What I'm saying is, if you've got an inhibition to overpower somebody's freedom to dress how they want, then is it on the basis of they dress this way, which might invoke, like you said, their inhibitions, or is it they're free to dress this way, but the problem is the people inflicting the pain?
Well, I think if
That's the
everybody
thing.
started, dressing like the Amish, that I don't think. I honestly, maybe it'd go down a little bit, but I think rapists would still rape.
Well,
I think that's
to me, there's actually there's a side to this where I think if there's a rapist somewhere at a party or whatever, there's a rapist somewhere in a situation, and someone is dressed extra conservatively. They might be a target more than the person who's dressed provocatively.
Exactly.
Because the rapist,
right?
because the rapist wants power.
Yeah,
They want
that's
to
the entire
exert-
point.
And so if they want power, they're going to go after the person that looks like they're they're prudish.
Well, it could be anything because I mean I'm guessing none of us rape people, right? So we can't really put ourselves in the mind of that type of person. But if we can have like an empathy, which is weird, we you know this I think empathy is the wrong word actually. If we can kind of like kind of try and put ourselves in that mindset, so to speak, then you could see what Kazum and me and I'm guessing you guys are saying is it's about one's domination, right, over somebody else. And like Kazum said, it could be you could dress like a fucking, a prude, and that might be what turns them on. Who knows?
Or that's not necessarily even necessary. I mean, there's that too. I was saying if someone wants more power, they're gonna choose someone they can be even more powerful over. If someone has the appearance of being sexually free, well, that's not someone they're going to have much power over. It would be the person that seems like they're like I said, the person that seems like they're prudish would be more of a target because it allows them to have more power.
Yeah, but maybe
that's that way all the time. I'm not saying that's the case all the time or anything. I'm just saying this for people to say that to dress.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's a personality trait as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that person's like being in the conversation with that person and gone, you're weaker than me. I'm going to overpower you. It doesn't really matter what you've got on anyway. It's the fact that I want to dominate you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think the whole clothes issue and I'm a slut, I know that comes falling down and crashing down, especially when you do the psychology side of it. I think that's what
who would we be to tell women or men what to wear? Like that would be I don't even really have a word. Stupid, yeah. To put it in for lack of better words, it'd be stupid. It'd be controlling, and it's not going to solve anything. The issue of rape is still going to be very problematic.
Just to throw something in there as well, no one can really. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. It's pretty hard to get into the mind of someone who's intent on rape. I mean, I've heard stories where rapists broke into the house of 60-year-old women and raped them, 70, 80, like very elderly women, which just blows my mind. But yeah, there's always that power dynamic that Kazum you were bringing up that always takes into effect. It's just the notion of dominating somebody, and that's usually an angle no one, at least in the media, takes because rape has a power context to it. I mean, just to bring in a religious reference, I know in Sodom and Gomorrah the men weren't homosexual. Didn't want the angels because they were gay. They wanted them because it was a sign of domination. That's what it meant. In the ancient world, it meant it was a way of humiliating your enemies. And the power context is something that we shy away from, now think of it as a sexual context, but that isn't the case at all.
Yeah, and I think the reason, or at least one of the many reasons we have a problem getting in the mind of a rapist, for the obvious reasons we don't have that mentality as normal human beings. But I think it's also just a sexual aspect of it, that they are attracted to power. That's what gets them off. And I'm not saying the power fetish is necessarily always a bad thing, but in this setting,
it's not. But yeah,
it obviously is. But I think for a lot of people, it's hard to get into that mindset because they're not attracted to that. Like I personally, and many other people, I don't see that at all attractive. I couldn't see having sex with a woman when she's not consenting. It just wouldn't be stimulating in any way.
Yeah, but
for these people, that's the only way they can get off.
Yeah, I was going to say to them, probably the stimulating factor is the fact that they say no.
Which is what I was saying. That's the only way they can get off. That's all they're usually attracted to. So.
Well, that's the power trip. But I think with the clothing issue, I want to go back to the clothing issue because this was the point of the topic is, do we blame people for dressing the way they want and saying, well, you're asking for it?
Well, obviously not. I mean, I think we've established that you don't.
Well, some people were saying the opposite to that in the conversation.
Some people are stupid.
So yeah. I would like people who were in that debate in the conversation to join and defend themselves. JD was one of them, and I said,
can someone Can someone please put a link to this hangout in the comment section of the live video of this? Because when I'm logged in, I can't access this video.
Yeah, I'll do that. You just want me to go to the comment section and post it?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
All right, you got it.
Thanks. Awesome.
Thanks, Epicurus.
Eh.
Yeah, it's just because the people who, like, I think we all agree, so we're kind of preaching to the choir in that respect. It'd be nice to get the people who are saying, no, it's the opposite. Because that's what me and Kazumi was defending. We was defending our position like Kazumi, and then Dave was like, etc.
Well, if I may, since we've established that, if I may go into the religious side of this,
Okay.
I think that, and I know because I know Epi is you're a theist, so I want to clarify that I'm not saying this about all religious people or even a majority of religious people, but I do think there's a sector of religious people who are very repressed, and I'm not saying that they would necessarily rape somebody, but I do think that a lot of these people want the gender they are attracted to, whether that be a man or a woman, to dress less revealing so that they have an easier time repressing the natural desire to be attracted to that person. So I think that's when a lot of this
back and stuff, Cameron.
No, that's actually a very popular mentality. In the ancient world, there wasn't, and we kind of still think of it in this term today, but it comes from the ancient world. There was actually very little distinction made between the thought and the action of the person, whereas now we kind of tend to draw that out, and even it continues. And I don't mean to throw a group of people under the bus, but in some places in the Islamic world, there's a notion that that a thought is aggravated by an outside action, and the reason why you keep women dressed in very non-revealing clothing is to avoid that for the betterment of the whole society itself. That's something that's the case because they think of it as a collective issue as opposed to it being an individual issue.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of theists, whether that be Islam or Christianity or Mormonism or what have you, are told not to be attracted to the gender.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But a lot of people. I mean, hold on. If you look at it properly, right, that's denying inhibitions, right? But if you're in a secular, and I don't mean just religious here, in a secular environment, then most people would agree that that's not tolerated just in a secular environment. See what I'm saying? So it's not the basis of just religion. It's the fact that how you treat other people with respect. I could.
No. But what I'm talking about right now is religion.
Hold on, Cameron. Let me finish. I could see someone walk past scantily clad as a man or a woman. Who am I to judge them? If I've got sexual preferences, but whatever preference I happen to be, that does not justify my actions in overpowering somebody against their will.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm moving past.
I don't need God. I don't need God for that, though. That's me.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, and I thought I made it quite clear, is I'm moving past rape a little bit. I'm saying that a lot of these religious people who are going to colleges and going in the street and saying, rape is your fault and you're a whore and your clothes, your booty shorts or whatever. Are the reason that so many of you are being raped. I think that that comes down to them trying to make it easier to repress their natural desires. So I'm kind of moving past rape and into the realm of just natural attraction, and a lot of these people try to repress that.
Isn't this really speculating on the mental states of other people? I mean, maybe they have
bought into
the notion that honestly, it's being scantily clad that attracts rapists. Maybe it's not them, but that's just the false information they have, and that's what they're projecting. That could also.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying all people, and this is kind of within the realm of speculation. I mean, I know from people I've known who have been religious before, and from me being religious before, I never ever even dreamed of saying things like this. But I knew that I do know that I would try to repress whatever, looking at pornography. being attracted to other women and things along those lines. And I know for a fact that
I
many,
mean, plus
many,
killing
many
people
other religious
sometimes, for
people have
fuck's
done the
sake.
same.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
up?
I mean, I was gonna say like I'm very capable of doing everything another human being's doing, but repressing it is what makes you a better human being. It's knowing what not to do, you know. And I think that. I mean, that's the point for me, right? I could kill another human being as much as the next person, but it's whether you feel that's applicable.
Well,
To,
I guess
You're moving off my point. What I'm saying is
about not violating people's agency.
Exactly. You know,
exactly.
you can be aware of it, but just don't do that shit. But to say that to say that they're to blame, like we're saying in the sense of, you know, people dressing how they want and they're to blame for that act is ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous. They are
I
not to
think
blame for that
I,
act.
I
The
think
person in
everybody here agrees
question.
with that. I don't think there's anybody here disagreeing with that.
No,
But
there
you're
isn't. I'm just stating it. Nobody disagrees with that. I'm just stating it. That's all.
no, but
Well,
you're kind of
there might be.
moving off my point. What I'm saying is not these people repressing in a good way. Like we repress. Like if I get really mad at somebody and I maybe want to hit them, I try to repress that because that obviously would, in normal situations, if it's not an act of self-defense, would be a careless thing to do and wouldn't be morally justified. Or anything else that you need to repress. But I'm talking about people who repress natural things, like whether that be being attracted to whatever your sexual preference is, and calling that lust when it's really just natural attraction, or you know whatever it may be, masturbation, pornography, all that stuff. I'm not talking about things that are obviously morally wrong or unethical.
Well, I mean, even lust. Lust is there's nothing wrong with lust. Lust is just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of these religious, and I'm not saying all, because I know Epi's religious, but so I want to, and I know this is live, so I want to make that very clear that I'm not saying all religious people, but there is a large sector of religious people and a disturbing amount of people who repress these natural desires and make them out to be unnatural and quote unquote sinful, and that is why a lot of these people, and I'm not saying all, again, I can't generalize it, but a lot of these people go out and have these signs that say, you know, dress more modestly, or rape is your fault, or whatever, because they're trying to...
Out of curiosity, though, how much real power do they have within society as a whole? I'm actually more concerned with judges who have actually ruled cases where they used the clothes as a way of dismissing the defendant, or the woman who was raped. I believe there was a case in Canada where that very issue did come across, and that was not well received amongst people. So I think the real danger here isn't in the layperson having this notion, or your everyday Joe, but rather it's in the people who have power having this position.
Yeah, but I'd agree, but that's not the point I'm making right now. I'm not necessarily talking about power. I'm talking about how a large portion of religious society represses themselves.
I'm just saying this is the people who are more afraid of having this opinion.
Well, I'd agree, and
Okay.
we can definitely talk about that, but that's just not the point I'm making right now. I'm just talking about normal, everyday people, whether they have power or not. I don't care. They are repressing things that are natural, and I think that can be problematic. But even if it's not, that's just the point I'm making at this time.
Our society shuns sexuality. We can't even. People can't even. If people can't even have a discussion about sex they were having with someone in public because especially there's women in this society especially are taught to be kind of prudish about sex, and so we have this thing where guys could be talking about some sexual subject. A woman walks nearby, they immediately stop because she's going to be offended. You know, we guys are taught a little less to be prudish about things, but then just still there's an overall attitude in our society to be kind of anti-sexuality, or at least you are not allowed to wear your sexuality on your sleeve.
Yeah, and to be bluntly honest, I think religion has played a big part in pushing that agenda.
Yes,
is
absolutely
sexual repression.
huge.
That's
Huge. It's
yeah. That
huge.
when I was a Christian, I was I was very repressed in that area, and that's what religion does.
Well, it's
It's
always
just
sexuality has always been kind of seen as a person. It's actually kind of funny how society changes in this notion because in the ancient culture, it's not considered weird at all for children to be in the same room while their parents were lovemaking. Families used to live one in the same one giant room, which encompassed the whole house. If one looks at my grandparents' house, where all my where both my grandparents slept and my father and his brothers and sisters slept. It was two rooms. In my grandparents' room where they slept, the kids also slept. It wasn't considered that awkward, and this is in the Middle East about only 50 years ago. Far less than that actually. However, if one looks at American culture or even modern Western culture, sex is something that's always been considered private in the bedroom. I mean, even if one looks at the conversation about homosexuality, usually the number one thing people say is, "Hey, it's between two individuals in the privacy of their own bedroom. What matter is it if it's always internalized into a very private affair. That's how it's defended."
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
well, I think another problem, moving past or not moving past it, but just making a different point, past the point of actual sex, is making things like lust unnatural, and I think religion has played a big part in that, like making that out to be
Well,
sinful.
they don't say it's unnatural. They say it's bad.
Yeah, bad.
That's different because they obviously know it's natural to have
Yeah.
lust. So
Yeah, they say it's bad, sinful. They condemn it. They make it. You feel shameful about it, which I think is a problem.
Oh,
absolutely.
It's also in terms of how the norms and the society itself change. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, if one looks at Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet were respectively 15 and 13 years of age. It wasn't considered that normal for people to be married at such a young age. However, now in the peak years of your sexuality, you're expected just to internalize it and wait until you're in your 20s and 30s before you're even prepared for marriage. So really, it's kind of the change in terms of the institution in the social institutions, as well as the change into which our norms are changing. They're kind of divergent. One is adapting to a different need, and one is adapting to another need. So really, it's kind of a mixed bag here.
How do you mean?
Okay. In the institution of marriage, for example, it used to be that it was at a young age, 13, 15 years of age, respectively. I was citing Romeo and Juliet as one of the examples. It used to be that you were married in your teens. Now you wait until your 20s and 30s. That's kind of the main difference. You have a social institution that was kind of designated to take care of that biological impulse, whereas now the institution has been pushed off because you're supposed to get an education, you're supposed to get a job, all of that, and that's a good thing. You're supposed to be responsible before you can take care of somebody else. However, now, just to finish my point, so because we have a divergence between the social institution and our own the needs of designated by our own biology, that's also led to a social disconnect. That's all I'm trying to say here.
I was just wondering, like, about that. Do you think we just like coddle our kids too much? Like we extend their childhood too far?
Well, there's actually a very funny joke about that by Doug Stanhope, and he's not a comedian I often watch, but he actually made a very funny point. There's a reason why a kid in a militia in Africa isn't spray painting bridges, because he has a gun and a job to do. Now, we could all shy away from the fact that we don't like people involved in that kind of activity. But yeah, that does tend to be the case. People are living with their parents at including myself, until a much later age, for example. So there is a bit of notice of coddling. Excuse me.
Not to keep bringing this up, but I'd like to, because you're a theist, Epi, so I'd like you to directly respond to this because I don't feel like you have. What do you think of, as Kazum and I have both mentioned, What do you think of religion making, or not making? I don't
I'm
want
going to step away from the keyboard right now, so can you save your question for later? Someone needs to talk to me.
What's
Sorry.
up?
He needs to step away for just a second.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's fine.
Hey, Blue.
What's up, kids? How you doing, baby?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm all right. I don't think I have anything to add to this conversation, but I was certainly hoping to listen and maybe learn something.
Cool, cool.
Got any weed?
Some refry, yeah. And when I say refry, what that means is I have a vaporizer. There's a vaporizer. I don't know if you know what they are. It will heat it up just to the temperature before it burns, and then what's left after that, I call refry because I'm trying to vaporize it again, even though it's already been vaporized. So.
Can you scrape the vaporizer like a weed pipe?
Yeah, and and instead of being like resin, it's actual. It's almost like hash oil. That's left in the inside this.
Hey guys, I've
Anyway, sorry.
sorry to come back into the conversation, but I actually just wanted to say I have to go to do something. I've been called by a family member.
Okay.
But it was a very nice conversation. I wish I could join with you guys even more on this topic. It sounds interesting.
It's been. I'm really glad you've been here. I'm hoping I can get some more assorted mindsets coming in. Maybe someone has some suggestions and I can try to add them to it.
I posted it on my wall, so if anyone in my circle has any need.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. See ya.
Thank you. If you guys have any suggestions for people I should add, let me know and I can try to do that.
Are other people? Can we invite people, or do you have to do it?
Well, do you have a plus thing on the left side of the little? There's this little bar on the top, and it has the hang up button on the right, and on the left, do you have a microphone, or do you have a little thing that looks like a person with a plus on it?
I don't know. I'm on my tablet, so I'm on the mobile.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's different on that. Okay.
I have the little plus thing now.
You do have a little plus symbol. We'll see. Yeah, if you're welcome. I mean, if it lets you add more people, do it.
Okay. Cool. Are we still live?
Yes. And hold on just a second.
What did you cover thus far, kid?
Hold on a second. I'm going to try to find something for someone in the house here. I'll be right back.
That's
Okay.
cool. Talk amongst ourselves. Is there anything I love more than a captive audience? No. Oh, I got rid of him. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So I was just wondering, does anybody here consider themselves a feminist?
no. I mean, I have.
No.
I think there are some. I think there's a number of good things about feminism. But there's like just a couple really, really, really bad things about it. So I can't consider myself a feminist because of it.
I think feminism is very problematic.
It has such a bad name. I just like to. It's like I just like to tell people that just to piss them off these days.
Right. I mean, I'm afraid for a lot of people, when they hear the word feminist, especially amongst us, people on YouTube, when they hear the word feminist, they think of Big Red screaming in Toronto. And
That's not what it was for me growing up.
Yeah, she was going a little nuts there. I thought it was funny though.
Or
But
Anita,
I mean,
the I forgot her name again, Rebecca Watson, or Ire Myth Purr, or a bunch of the feminists you see on Twitter that are just fucking crazy, batshit fucking crazy. That's what I end up thinking a lot of, and it's not really a good representation of it. But then again, there's people that I've gotten in discussions with so many people who just say, oh, I'm not radical at all, and then I'll get into discussion about them about objectification and things and sexuality in general, and they show that they're exactly the same thing. So it's
I think it's all bullshit. Like the MRA is bullshit, feminism is bullshit. It's all bullshit. Like,
Well, it's sad because I've seen.
Forgive me.
What's up?
I've seen, there's a lot of. Sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead, young lady. Forgive me.
Oh, there's, if you could go and look, there are a lot of good feminists on YouTube that aren't crazy radicals, but everybody focus on the nutcases.
Yeah, but is feminism even necessary anymore?
Yeah, it is.
How is it necessary?
Okay, well, it's not so much here in the West, but over in the East and Middle East. And,
Well, yeah, I agree that it's necessary.
I agree
over
there,
but
but what about here? Yeah, what about
yeah,
here?
Here it doesn't seem necessary.
Not to the extent, but if you talk to different guys about their attitudes towards women, if you really start digging deep, there is like this attitude of superiority, kind of. I mean, that's what I've experienced. I mean,
that's if you dig deep. Like that's almost looking for a problem. Like there's always going to be people who are like that, and there's always going to be people who are racist or homophobic or sexist or what have you. But the general attitude, from what I've seen, isn't that guys are superior to women.
There is still very much an overwhelming attitude by most guys, straight guys in this culture that does look at women as less than. That looks at women as less capable. That I'm sorry, it is prevalent in our culture. It's very much there, but yes, very very much. I feel very strongly about that. Yes.
I agree.
Well, I mean, I could be incorrect on that, but I mean, but besides that, like, I don't know. I think that needs to change because I think that's horrible. I've never experienced that. I mean, as a heterosexual male, I've never thought of women as lesser than me. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, Cameron,
there's the problem on the opposite way too, that men are expected to man up, not to show emotions and be the ones to do stuff. I don't know. I feel personally like I have a lot of pressure to be more masculine than I am, and that can also be frustrating. So I think it's important to look at it from both ways.
Yeah, I mean, gender roles, I think, are the biggest problem.
Yeah.
These forced gender roles. I mean, there's probably going to be a bit of natural things that people will tilt towards just automatically because of like just hormones, the hormonal differences. But I mean, but I just think it sucks how much we cram gender roles down everyone's throats. We expect women to act like this. We expect women to be docile and submissive and all this stuff, and then we expect guys to be blah, 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 it's just.
And I think all these things need to change, but I think all these things need to change. But I don't think it has anything to do with feminism or men's rights activists. I think those things need to be put aside because I think they're just problematic. I think we need to change these things together.
You're say that you're exactly right that those issues don't matter because the focus should be on human rights, obviously, and what's best for everybody.
Yes.
And not
but how do we address these gender roles stuff though? How do we address trying to conquer the
that's
gender
just
roles?
human rights.
How do we address?
Rights.
No, that's part of feminism and what the men's rights activist issues. not be you have to be for or against anything, but the raising of these issues, you know, that's what's important. Remember, feminism is about as old as I am. Well, I mean,
No, older.
Really started matter back in the 60s, back in the day.
It started way before then.
I did well. Okay, I'm not going to go back to Emma Goldman and Phyllis Wheatley and stuff. I'm talking about what we call modern feminism, and I don't see what the problem with that is. It's helped a lot of people. You know, these are the people who spoke out for birth control. These are the people who spoke out for abortion rights.
Yeah, but a lot of feminists nowadays are taking it a step further and starting to think that women are superior to men. And I'm not saying
it's more of an issue. It's not an issue of superior. It's an issue of. I just think it's an issue of wanting to control men.
Yeah. I would agree, Kazum.
It's not an issue of superiority. It's an issue of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't want to generalize but the more radical feminists, which there is an increasing number of these kind of feminists. Want to control everything men do. Like there's certain things that we just can't do or say. Like if I call somebody a cunt, I'm automatically some misogynistic, sexist bastard.
Yeah, as if you're saying it about all women instead of just one person.
Which is a gross generalization. You know. Go ahead.
Oh, there's also that element of guys are expected to, if you want to compliment a woman on their body or something about the way they look, you're supposed to be very indirect. You're supposed to just try to, or you have to say something else to them first to start a conversation, and then you kind of sneak that in instead of just being able to say, wow, this element about you looks great, or whatever it is. You know, if you say that, a lot of the feminists are saying, well, that's sexual harassment. I'm like, it was the first time someone said it. It shouldn't be harassment until the person continues after that.
It's like if you compliment somebody.
Well, what kind of compliment are we talking about here?
Well, if you compliment a woman directly, you're automatically seen as just wanting sex.
Well, I mean,
just
are we
being
talking
sexist.
about saying, like, nice tits, nice ass? I mean, that's just crass and crude is what that is. That's not a compliment.
Well, why though? Why is that not a compliment? I mean, if someone said that to me, I'd take. Most guys would take that as a compliment. Why is that a compliment?
If I came up to you and I'm like, Jesus Christ, nice ass, like.
Yes, I would love that.
I'd be like, thanks, that's great.
I would love that. Please do that, Solon. Please, I would love that.
I've been bullied for my ass. I would rather hear compliments about it.
I guess it's just the history of the objectification and, you know, the suppression of women's rights and whatever, and we still have that in our psyche. So we're still, you know, a little bit, you know, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you know what I mean. Like, it's still a sore subject a little bit, somewhere deep down inside.
How can that element be addressed about what you just explained, where there's these leftovers thing? How can this be addressed to feminists? Because I have not found a way to address that subject. They just start going into this, oh, you're a rape apologist, oh, you're a this apologist, you're a just this, and they just start going on just like, can we address this subject? And I never do it. And they just start calling me names. I'm just like, look at this subject. We can't. I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, I think you're talking to the wrong people. You're talking to the crazies. I think I need to like make videos or something because I'm not a crazy nut job. I consider myself a feminist, and I'm gonna have to like think about this and like make some videos or something because I'm just sick of the name that feminists have these days.
Well, honestly, the reason I'm so sick of feminism and men's rights activists is because it's just fucking problematic. Like, females have problems and males have problems. Like, I acknowledge that males are more superior, or they're not more superior, but in society's perception, they are treated better. They're treated as superior, and I acknowledge that, and it's wrong, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be so. But it's not like men don't have problems, but it's also not like women don't have problems. So I think it comes back to human rights. Like, fuck the feminism and fuck the men's rights activists. It comes to human rights. Like, all the feminism and all the males' rights. It's all bullshit. It's all problematic, and it needs to go away. To be honest, like, why can't we just focus on human rights?
Well,
like,
I think, you know what? I just was thinking, I think one of the problems is if we just focus on human rights, then things that do end up being specific to men or women will be overlooked. They'll be just kind of passed. Well, that's not as important as these bigger issues over here, because that's a guy and a woman thing. That's not as important as this thing that look what's happening in this country.
I think once we get the bigger problems fixed, we'll be able to more dedicatedly focus on some of the more specific problems. But we won't have this label of feminism or men's rights activists once we get the more larger, universal, or even nationwide problems fixed. So I don't think they'll be overlooked once we fix the core problems.
But what about the people who are very much focused on the other issues? Should they not have some way of promoting those issues, putting those issues in the spotlight? How can those people who are focused on those things, even if they're not as important as some larger issues, how do those people focus those intentions, those issues, how do they do it if there's not a group for them to connect to?
Yeah, I don't think we can fix those smaller problems per se until we fix the larger problems.
What are some of these larger problems you're referring to, first of all?
I mean, I think, like Kazum mentioned, one of the biggest problems is gender roles being shoved down our throats. Like, I think that is a huge problem. I think if we fix that, a lot of things would change.
Well, hey, that's something that MRAs and feminists can work on together, right?
It would be nice. It would sure be nice.
Activists and feminists might have something useful to say about that topic, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, feminism, men's rights activists, just throw it all away. Like, why can't we just focus on this? Because even feminism and men's rights activists in itself is gender stereotyping, in my opinion. So I just wish we would just focus on human rights, and we could still focus on specific gender things. That's always going to be a thing, because the fact of the matter, and this is scientific, that males and females do have differs in personalities. So we can still focus on these seemingly smaller problems, although I don't think that a lot of them are necessarily small. But once we fix these bigger problems, we'll be able to focus much better on these smaller problems, but we don't have to do it with the label of either feminism or MRA. Like, I think we should just forget about that.
There's some
people
problem
have
right there. For me, there's a problem right there for me, that it's scientifically proven that men and women are different. Like, it's generalized, because there are differences that makes more women like this and more men like that, but personality-wise, you can't label it like that.
Well, I wasn't. I was just saying that scientifically, in generalizing the mass majority, there are differences. That's just a fact.
You don't need science for that, but okay.
Well, how do you mean you don't need science for that? How else would we prove that?
Prove? We can just look at how people in general act alike. And it's... never mind.
When it comes, though, to addressing some of the things that are specific to each sex, Cameron, you were saying that we should focus on these bigger issues, and then we can focus on the other stuff. But there are people that there's a natural inclination to want to connect with something, and if this bigger thing, I mean, people are going to want to group together. People are going to want to form some sort of unfortunately, kind of a clique in order to discuss things within that clique. And I think that what needs to happen is the crap needs to be addressed on both feminism and MRAs. The crap needs to be discussed. The shitty ideas need to be removed from the movement. Those shitty ideas need to be shunned within the movement. So there needs to be more feminists saying bad things about some of these, the one or two issues that are kind of fucked up in feminism, and the same thing with the MRAs. The MRAs need to really address the fucked up things that are in there too. These things need to be addressed because the feminism and MRAs are not going to go away.
Right.
It's not going to just disappear. We can want it, but it's not going to. And we can try to push the bigger issues, but those feminism and MRAs are not going to disappear.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, I was just thinking that you're pretty young, Cameron, right? I mean, it seems like, with your generation, you're more open about, gender roles, and it seems like you guys almost don't need these different labels anymore. But for us older people, I guess we're still kind of stuck in that mentality.
I don't think it's a question of age. I still think ultimately that feminism does awful. I mean, the fact that it's radicalized now and all left up in people's perceptions. And the other thing is, it's not so much that I agree with radical feminists. It's just the people who get men so mad. I mean, madder than atheists get at Jason Burns.
Are we not talking about rape clothing anymore, I take it?
No.
Well, not really. I mean, we could go back to it if there's some of that. Hey, Josh, your mic has a lot of in it. If you could, when you're not. Okay, I didn't mean for him to.
I was like, "Fuck you, Kazoom."
Oh, well, no, he tried to come back and then he couldn't again. Main thing I was trying to let him know is that, if when he's not talking, he should.
He can go on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying he just when he comes back in, he needs to know that when he's not talking, he needs to mute his mic. So.
You offended him, Kazoom. See what you did?
You cyberbullied him.
Oh no.
Okay, how about getting back to rape?
Let's get back to that rape.
Rape is so negative. It's so negative. I'm trying to be more positive.
Oh, it's so passé.
I'm such a cynical bastard, and I'm always on Google Hangouts talking about this negative shit, and it's like it just enforces my cynical personality. So I don't know. Maybe I'll become a Buddhist.
Knuckleheads on YouTube, yeah, you're going to get a jaded opinion of humanity, of course.
Oh, I'm already jaded. It wasn't. I was jaded long before YouTube. I was probably jaded as a baby. I probably came out of the womb with the middle finger up.
So. Cynicism goes away as you get older, young man. Hopefully.
No, probably not. I'm just cynical.
No, like I was thinking, we kind of left out something really big. I don't know if I'm crazy, but like the whole alcohol thing. Like I think that is just like such an important part that we didn't really talk about. Although it is very complicated when you bring that in.
Yeah, I feel left out in that conversation.
I have to leave to step away from my own hangout for a moment, but the dogs have to go out, and I have to give them a short walk. There's a park just right across the street. I'll try to be back very soon. Probably about 10 minutes, I'm hoping. So, okay. I'm sorry about that. I will be back.
Take care of those puppies.
Don't get hit by a car.
Let the dog take the hit. No. Okay, that was stupid.
No, don't do that.
Your
God.
karma ran over my dogma. Anyway.
What?
Yeah, I don't know about the whole alcohol thing. I feel left out in that conversation. I don't have anything to say about that.
Hold on, who said alcohol? What? Alcohol? I'm here. I want to join the party with alcohol.
It facilitates rape.
Huh?
Oh no, I mean I know the topic, but I don't have anything to say about it. I'm still pretty young, so I'm not really.
Okay, that's
I feel left out of that.
Innocent.
No, I'm not Mr. Innocent. I mean,
shut up, Cameron. Shut up. It's nice to see. Who's the new guy in the room?
Did you tell me to shut up? You shut up.
Okay, we got blueberries. What's up, blueberries? And we've got Kuras. I hope I pronounced your name right. Welcome to the room, dude.
thing.
I was just welcoming the new people. Calm down, peeps.
Just calm down, okay? Calm down.
Well, I don't think I'm the best person to talk about rape clothes. Like, I never dress sexy, so.
I dress sexy all the time.
I'm sexy widow without clothes. Just saying. I'm universal. I'd get raped anyway. No matter what I was dressing, I would get raped, apparently.
I heard that shorter shorts are not like short shorts, but I heard that shorter shorts are coming back in style for guys. So
really, like the whole ass cheek shit.
yeah, watch out, Summer.
You know, okay, well, you know what? To be honest, if he was that way inclined, I suppose that's sexy, but yeah.
Isn't it weird that when women have tight pants, so their butts get their butt shapes are visible, it's sexy, and everyone takes it for granted. But when guys have it, they are made fun of for it.
I don't mind seeing some guy's ass.
What?
I think girls' asses are more appealing than guys. So.
I don't know. Some guys they have some nice shapes to them.
Yeah.
Go look at some guys' asses while you're out.
I mean, that's a matter of subjective opinions if you think like that, but it's a lot about. Well, it's based on a time back when it was meant to be more objective to look at a woman like that. Or
what about
getting my words right here?
What about back when men wore frickin' tights and all that crap?
Yeah, and they
show
were
off their package and their buns.
Back in the Victorian era, the guys were more effeminate in their outfits in the first class, maybe, but
not even then though. Like back in the later era, like what was it? Like there's some era in the 20th century where guys wore a lot of tight stuff. Was it like the 60s or the 70s or I don't know, but it was somewhere back then where they wore like a lot of short shorts and tighter clothing.
And then we have Robin Hood, men in tights.
Yes. It'd be so awkward if you got a boner. I'm just saying, it'd be awkward. I mean, just the facts.
What? I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it? If you're in tight clothing as a male,
yeah, okay.
You got a hard on. You understand what I'm saying now? You get it?
But it's awkward to get a boner around others, period.
Yes. Well, it'd be even more awkward if it was just like, sticking out. So.
Or Superman.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anyways.
Where were we?
So nobody thinks that women need to be careful what they wear so they don't get raped. Nobody.
No.
Not for the sake of getting raped, at least. But
we should go. What did you? We never really finished that conversation with Kazum about like the compliments thing. Like I think that a lot of feminists have problems with like being directly complimented, and they expect men to kind of what's the word? Kind of walk on eggshells almost, like with how they compliment, kind of dance around it a little bit before they go in.
I think it's because the assumption of what they are indicating with it, like they are saying that it's because they want to fuck them. Nice ass.
That's what I'm saying. But like, why can't we be fucking like direct? Like what's the difference? Like if you say something indirect, it's not offensive. But if you say something direct, then it's automatically offensive. But it's the truth. Like, so what? I'm attracted to your ass. Like, big whoop.
As long as you don't do anything and you're not saying anything that makes it look like you want to rape them or so, I think it's...
Well, I would agree, but I think that even if you don't do that, that a lot of women would get offended because of this whole feminine movement.
Yeah, but...
But so, what do you think about that, Solon? Because you were kind of commenting on that.
Wait, what? No, I'm sorry.
Well, did you hear anything that I said?
Oh crap! I kind of tuned you out. Sorry.
Oh God, thanks. Why did you do that? No, and I'll have to repeat myself. We were talking. Are you listening now? Are you paying attention?
Yes.
We were talking to
ADD.
we were talking to Kazuma about the whole compliment thing, and how we as men are expected to kind of walk on eggshells almost and not be direct. So what I was saying to what's your name? I can't pronounce your name. Kurvos. Kurvog? Okay, well, yeah, I was talking to him like, why can't we be direct? Like, so what if I say I'm, if I'm direct, like if I'm attracted to your ass, why is that? That's just being direct. Like, it's just the truth.
It's rude and it's objectification.
Oh,
Like,
oh God,
fuck you.
oh Jesus Christ. Oh God, no.
Wait, hold on a minute, hold on. You gotta understand that there's a thing, a little word I like to call manners.
Thank you.
You might like to say, I want to fuck your ass in a club.
That's not what I would say, though. I'm not going to say, I really just want to go down on your ass.
Cameron, I know you like the sound of your own voice, but just please shut the fuck up.
Oh, God. Okay, you want to go, buddy?
No, listen, I haven't smoked for ages, so please shut the fuck up. Okay, the point is,
Just talking about manners.
Just shut up, dude. There's a thing called manners,
What
right?
does it count for him?
Like, there's a thing called manners now. If you go up to a woman in the street and you want to fuck her ass, there's a way to go about that shit, right? If you're going to wolf whistle this chick, she's obviously not going to be interested because she thinks that you only want to shag her like a piece of meat. So there's different ways to go about being attracted to a female, or even a male, if you're a male, or whatever. It's about personal preference. The best way is called manners. It's about respecting other people's space, basically. Now, there's nothing wrong with being fucked up in the sense like, how you act with people, but I would suggest that manners is the best course of discourse, so to speak.
Who's playing music?
I'd agree. I don't know. I just think that we should not be so. We shouldn't have to be so indirect because it's gotten to the point where you can't even compliment a woman anymore without being assumed that you're trying to get something in return, like sex or some, whatever it may be. Like it gets to the point where you can't, be, I don't know, nice even. Like that's taken as flirting.
Well, I mean, like, you're not going to compliment somebody if you're not sexually attracted to them, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, I'd agree.
So, yeah, it's like, it's just how you do it. You don't have to be rude about it.
Yeah, but what's rude? Like, what's rude? I mean, I know what rude is, but, like, what's like, why?
Well, I mean, like, treat him like a human fucking being. Like strike up a fucking conversation, I don't know.
Yeah, but what would be too direct? Like, why do we have to be so indirect? Like, what would be too direct?
I don't know. I don't get, like, hit on all the time, so you're asking the wrong person. I just talk to people.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you say, oh, you have really beautiful eyes, that's
not bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, but that's something that you're not going to get offended by.
Yeah, something non-sexual.
Yeah.
Must a butt be more sexual necessarily?
What is?
What? Does a butt need to be more sexual than eyes? I mean, it's just a body part, and if you wear tights, especially, you're making it visible on purpose.
It's in that area, though. That's the no-no zone.
But you can't both have the cake and eat it. If you want to expose a body part, you need to expect at least a compliment about it.
Come on, you can find something to say without mentioning that. Come on, you don't have to.
Well, you can. It's not like I'm gonna go up to a woman I like and say like, your ass in those jeans looks great. But if I happen to say that after a while, why does that have to be offensive? Like if she's wearing tight jeans and I say, you know what, your ass looks really great in those jeans. I'm not trying to be a misogynistic bastard or something, whatever. I'm just saying, it's a compliment. Like, what? You're
Well, I mean, like, if
Go
you
ahead.
know the person that, and you have a rapport, yeah, that's fine, but you don't go up to somebody you don't know and say that kind of crap.
No, I would never do that. But I mean,
Okay.
but even if you know a person, or even if you're even dating a person, a lot of people, not just women, even in general, will get offended by that. So if I'm like dating a woman, and she's wearing tight jeans, and I say your ass looks great in those jeans.
No,
Why does it have to be too direct? Why is that offensive?
Hold on a minute. No, wait. You have to understand the difference between being in a relationship and not being in one. If you go around saying to every random fucking woman that they've got a nice ass, that's just fucking weird. Okay.
No, I agree. I wasn't saying random women. I was saying somebody you were possibly.
No, if you're in that kind of mode with a woman, then she wouldn't mind if you say you've got a nice ass, because she would understand the context of why you're saying that. It's because you're obviously gonna fuck each other.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, like if I'm dating somebody in a relationship or whatever, I'll love that if he tells me my ass looks good.
The fact that they but point being, maybe they see it as a bit more private. If it's a little bit different, yeah, she knows that you know that her ass is not nice, I guess.
There you go. Makes sense.
I'm a bit nervous, but yeah.
Welcome back, Kizu.
Thanks. Hi, Thomas.
Well, I'm more awkward, so.
I can be awkward too. Sorry.
Hey, how do you all feel about there's like people like Aaron Raw who try to claim that if someone is against feminism, that they're against women's rights because they have this absolute definition. They say that one of the dictionary definitions of feminism is the definition, and nothing that anyone attaches to it is valid. So the definition is the belief in equal rights for women, and they like want to disassociate everything else with it. So they say, anyone that isn't a feminist is against women's rights. How do you feel about that?
I think anybody can take whatever label they want or reject whatever label they want. It doesn't mean you're against women's rights if you don't pick up that label for yourself. That's just silly.
Agreed. You can understand how that kind of comment might infuriate some people.
Yeah.
I mean,
that didn't upset you, did it?
Not yours. No, Aaron Ross, the people who make those statements. I didn't mean yours. I meant Aaron Ross. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't specify things. I just meant the idea that if someone is against or doesn't want to label themselves as a feminist or doesn't like what feminism has become, that they're against women's rights. That's the thing. That's the thing I was saying, that you can understand why that would infuriate people. I didn't mean your statement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like really pretty moderate in all this. It does annoy me when somebody is just like rabidly, no, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist. And I'm just like calm down, dude. Like, it's okay. But I mean, if you don't want to pick up that label, I don't care. Like, you are who you are,
Hey, Durican.
Hello.
Do I pronounce your name right?
No one does.
What is it?
It's supposed to be just dragon, but whatever.
Oh, okay. It suddenly gets quiet. What happened while I was gone? What sort of what were the subjects?
Manners and what you can say to compliment others' body parts and stuff.
Okay. I still think it's like I've had some when I've been in discussions with some feminists, I have really gotten them angry when I try to suggest that some of the things they shove forth that to me are kind of a prudish mindset when it comes to sexuality and such. When I say that, well, you're actually pushing the same, you're continuing the patterns that religion has been teaching, and they're just like, no, that's not it. I say, well, prove me wrong. You're still continuing these same old patterns. With the wanting to shun sexuality to some degree, that whole thing of you can't the idea that objectifying someone in general is this sexually objectifying someone in general is this horrible thing. I don't know.
Well, I can only speak for myself, and for me, it's like there's a time and a place, and like some guys just take it too far and just get inappropriate with it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can see, like Brian J. 1962, he and I had a discussion, and he was basically saying, well, the times that it's really not appropriate is the times that it would, like, if someone is obviously really busy with something and they're stressed about some subject, that's not the time to suddenly come up to them and start, hey, baby, or some sort of shit like that. Of course, that kind of comment is degrading, hey, baby, instead of an actual compliment. Someone making that sort of thing is pretty awful. It's like very assumptive.
Yeah, but it's probably not the time for anything else, or very much else either, so it's kind of a pointless statement to make that's objectification.
I guess it's really important to know the way you overall in general say things. Like you can make it sound really nice to compliment someone's butt if you're really good at words, and if you're using the right sentences and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have the right accent for that.
Oh, homie, you have a nice bottom. That was wrong.
My hovercraft is full of eels. Okay, never mind.
Please take them out.
Well, it's a Monty Python reference to there's this a translator book to translate words and stuff that this person had purposely written to say the wrong things. So, I can't remember all the skit, but at some point it's just like it might as well say there's someone's trying to ask directions. It's you are a horse's ass or something like that. And then at one point, the thing was my hovercraft is full of eels. It was just anyway.
Well, somebody's gonna have to watch some of that with me. I haven't seen any of that.
I think some of Monty Python stuff really holds up really well, but I think stuff like the Flying Circus can be a little bit meh to me personally.
I think this was from Flying Circus. This is from their show. It wasn't from their movies. Oh. It was one of the things from the show. I thought the show had a lot of funny stuff on. I mean, there's some things that are really dated that don't apply very much unless you know the history, but they still got tons of funny shit on that.
I think it's just that I recently only saw the first few episodes, and maybe it gets better further in. I need to watch further.
It's mixed. It's mixed. You'll find there's the stinkers once in a while, and the same. Yeah, it's a mixed bag on all of them. But you're bound to find, you will find some stuff that's funny in each one. Well, maybe I can't say you will find this funny, soldier. So.
Yeah, my friend had that stuff on his Netflix account, and I tried watching it, and I couldn't watch more than a few episodes because it got repetitive. So. I mean, I think it's funny, but then at the same time, it's like, wow, this is utterly repetitive, so why the fuck am I watching this? I guess it might be different if it's like a weekly show, but one after another is just kind of boring.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah. It's like trying to watch the, for some people, I mean, I could do it fine, but for some people trying to watch the BBC production of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy all at once, it's, what, 6 hours?
I did that, that's a decent show.
I thought
Yeah.
the BBC production was so much better than that Americanized movie. That was just sad. I mean,
but
it was still entertaining, but it sure didn't have the storyline of the BBC, which really went close to the book.
I haven't read the book, but while I enjoyed the movie and have seen it like 3 or 4 times, it's actually really forgettable because I can't remember almost anything. It's like, oh, I remember dolphins singing.
You should see the BBC production.
Okay.
Serious. It's low budget, but it's really good. It's a lot more thorough. Even the guide, when they actually clip to the Hitchhiker's Guide itself, I think that's better on the BBC than the movie was.
That one thing I really loved about the movie, though, it was the explanation guide. Whenever something pops up and it explained it, it felt, I don't know, it was unique and charming, but yeah, else it was me.
Oh, you're turning into a penguin. Stop that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a new show on Netflix to go through. I don't know what to start with.
Do they have Firefly?
Let me check.
Have you seen it yet?
I have no
Have
idea.
you seen Firefly yet?
No.
I very much recommend that.
What is it? I've heard of it, but
It's
It's
an overhyped sci-fi show.
It's a sci-fi show that it's, instead of it being like most sci-fi shows that deal with space, are always, the main characters are always in some governmental something, right? It's never just freelance, just someone trying to get around and survive. And so this is kind of like that, a hint of Wild West, well, not a hint, a lot of Wild West feel to it. They're going, the characters will pick up goods from one place, deliver them to another, but sometimes there are a lot of illegal goods, and there's a lot of stuff that happens along the way. And then there's anyway.
They have Firefly.
Western.
They have Firefly, but they only have 1 season. Is that all there is?
Yeah, there's
That's
only
all there
13.
is. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, bro. I only watch shows with more than 3 seasons.
What?
Try watching Red Dawn.
I'm serious, actually. I only watch shows with more than 3 seasons.
Why?
It's because otherwise I really get into shows, and like TV. I love TV. So if it just has like 1 season, then it's just like
It's one season and then a movie called Serenity.
I'll get into it, and then it'll be like, now it's over, and there's only 1 season. Like, the only show I've ever watched that I got into that has 1 season is Orange is the New Black. That's about it.
But isn't it a bit like saying, oh, I only watch a movie if there are 5 more after it because I get into it?
No, because movies are totally different.
I only watch movies just with titties. Does that make any sense?
Okay, how about watching it sometimes so you can watch the movie Serenity and understand what's going on?
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, that's even more fucking confusing. Like, I never got the gist of that movie, seriously.
Honestly though, I'm not really big on. I've never really been big on sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
It's not my thing.
Okay.
Like I've tried to watch Doctor Who before, and it's just
You know, the problem with like some of the older Doctor Who was so low budget that it was sometimes hard to watch, and some of the I never understood these why did Doctor Who have to look like back then? There were like 2 or 3 of them that looked like they were wearing patchwork things from quilts as their jacket and stuff, and just some of those were just hard to watch. But then the newer ones, they're like, I don't know, they're it's trying to be over the top now. Oh, look, we have more technology to do more things, and I don't know. I'm kind of rambling. That's all right.
It's okay. It's your chat.
I can't get into the newer ones much. I don't know why. I can't figure it out.
I will say, I'm a Doctor Who fan. I will say the newer ones are shite, only because they try and be like the old ones. That never works out here, you know. The old Doctor Who's, the 1970s Doctor Who's, yeah, they were dope. I grew up on that shit, like BBC Two. So,
yeah. I just finished going through American Dad on Netflix, actually. So I think I might just switch over to Family Guy and go through that. Kind of stupid, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, Family Guy is definitely better than American Guy.
Can someone kill that fucking dog in the background?
Oh God, now I started to think about that. And now I started to think about Family Guy. I stopped watching that show after they had an episode where they made Peter get raped by a bull, and that was supposed to be a joke. Just thought that was too far.
Yeah, I actually watched that episode not long ago, and it is uncomfortable. That is one of the, extreme episodes.
Oh.
Come on, okay. How can any episode of a cartoon be extreme? Have you never watched fucking like the?
It's comedy. Cartoon? Like comedy has no.
Yeah, sure, it is comedy. But
if you take that literally, then you're a strange being.
No, I don't think they actually.
Let's make it
okay. It's just that you kind of when you watch anything, you kind of associate with that character. You kind of, what's the English word here? You kind of.
No, you don't. You relate. What it is? It's
relate. Yes, exactly. You relate to it.
No, you relate your psychopathic ways of thinking to that psychopathic character. That's all. If you watch when I used to.
And just to confirm, Sty isn't trying to say that you're psychopathic. He's saying that everybody has these everyone has some bit of psychopathic element within us. I just wanted to clarify that.
That's weird.
I was going to say though about that Family Guy episode that my problem with it isn't necessarily the part about raping. That might be disturbing too, but it's a double standard I am most bothered with, because you would never get away with that if it was a woman getting raped by the bull.
I mean the thing is, right, it's like what you perceive to be the norm and the joke. I know a lot of people that don't get jokes that I do. Does it mean that the joke's a bad joke? Well, technically no, just means you didn't get it.
I wasn't saying it's bad. I got the joke, yeah. I got the joke, but it's just that, I don't know, it just made me uncomfortable watching it.
Well,
that's because well, see, that's one of the things. The Family Guy, one of the main things they try to do is to make people uncomfortable to think about certain things. He's trying really hard to get people to think about. Same with Simpsons, did the same thing, but not as harsh. But well, they were harsh in the '90s, but to today's standards, it's like, oh, that's nothing, But no, it's trying to push the boundaries all the time. South Park kind of tries to do that too, but I just gotten bored with Family Guy though. When I finally got tired of Family Guy or any of Seth MacFarlane's stuff is after I saw him host the was it Oscars or was it the Grammys? Like Oscars. He hosted the Oscars and he had all these live skits, and I got completely burned out on his humor style. Just done. I look at any of his stuff now, and it's just like all I can picture is him doing it live, and I'm like, oh, it's ruined. It's just ruined. If you want to ruin yourself on Family Guy, go watch his Seth MacFarlane's performance at the Oscars.
No, I'm not going to go watch that.
Wait. I don't mean to annoy Americans here, but if like, if you watch Faulty Towers, right, and then like Family Guy, you will understand the difference between an English comedy and satire and not satire. Family Guy tries to be satire, though funny as it is in some respects. It's like Friends in a cartoon. It's not as funny as people make out it to be, and I will honestly say that. I know people will kill me for saying that, but if you watch like Monty Python, you will see what real satire is. Not that bullshit.
I've never even heard of Monty Python.
Well, that just goes to show how fucking.
Oh my
ignorant
goodness.
people are.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's it, right? That's it, Kazum. I mean,
that's like saying you haven't seen Back to the Future.
well, that's like saying you haven't seen the
This
Sun.
is awkward.
Yeah, that's like saying you've never seen the Sun.
Have you not seen Back to the Future?
I have.
I want to say I have, but.
Oh my god, that's a double whammy! Oh wow! Oh wow!
Are you like from Mars or something?
It's like my brain is like that little dude of Total Recall. Open your mind! Open your mind!
I just haven't seen some of these classics. Like I just.
Dude, oh wow!
Okay, have you seen Total Recall, the original?
I have never even heard of that.
Oh my god!
Like,
No. Are you like a eunuch? I want to shoot myself. Humanity is doomed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Give him a break. He's just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
No, even as a baby, you should know that shit. Like you're like 5 years old, you should know exactly what means.
From night dumpster baby.
Yeah, I'm just a dumpster baby. So.
I'm just gonna go cry in a corner for humanity's salvation right now. Now I understand why there's Republican bigots because you Back to the Future or Monty Python. It's like, yeah, that explains it, right, Kazum? That explains it all. It just does perfectly.
There's probably a lot of other stuff I haven't seen too.
So who here could actually was able to watch and liked the newer Moulin Rouge? I could only handle 8 minutes of it and was wanting to pull my hair out, which is already shaved.
The newer Moulin Rouge?
I've not seen any of them.
Wait, there was an older one?
Yeah, there was an old, very, very old one. I can't remember how long ago. It was a very, very old classic movie or something. But then there's the newer one with Nicole Kidman and all the rest of them. And I could only handle like 8, 7. Maybe it was only 6 minutes of it. I was just like, whoa.
Are we talking Moulin Rouge again or some shit? Are we talking Moulin Rouge again? I know you hate the film.
Yes, we are. I just like to see people's reaction to it because I just
I pay
understand it.
attention. I pay attention, Kazoo. I pay attention.
My head coming from watching that, it was so obnoxious. There's just so much style.
Yeah, I just didn't like the fact that it was like, you know, Hollywood bullshit of a good film. I hate the way Hollywood does that. It's like, oh, let's make a classic into a shit film.
You should go watch the review that Nostalgia Critic does on it. It's a pretty good review.
Yeah, I still have a link to that. Nostalgia Critic musical review Moulin Rouge. I haven't watched it yet, but I have the tab open still. So, God, I have like 20 tabs at least open at any given time, I think.
You should watch the movie first before review, though.
Okay, I gotta get going, but thanks for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. I'm so glad you came by. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go watch Moulin Rouge now.
Oh, don't. As long as you got like pillows attached to your head, so you don't have to smash them on a wall while watching it, you'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the advice. All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Jericho cough.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yes, don't wear anything too revealing while watching it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you might rape date yourself or some shit. It's just when people say I've never watched Monty Python or Back to the Future, I get concerned. Just say.
I'm sorry.
Oh, honestly, dude, like, what planet you live on? It's
Tyler.
like, what the fuck?
I haven't watched Back to the Future either. So.
Tyler, my companion, hasn't seen Back to the Future yet either, so everyone here at the house always gives him a hard time about it.
I usually don't see the common favorites among movies. Like, it took me really long to watch the Indiana Jones movies, for instance.
Really? Wow.
I've noticed a lot of times I'm very controversial, not because I'm trying to be a hipster or anything, but I tend to disagree on what people love and hate. Like, if people say, "Oh, Shawshank Redemption is a masterpiece," I think it's just meh.
Yeah, but let's admit
You have your opinion. It's art. It's subjective.
Yeah. I would just say you are Scandinavian in like, you know, that way. So yeah, nothing shocks me what you would say as controversial, because you just, you know, you are a bit of a dimp squid, shall we say, in English terms.
What?
Next, you're gonna say Dances with Wolves wasn't the best movie ever made.
That was actually a good movie. I'm surprised you even know what Dances with Wolves was, because way after, like,
I know what Dances with Wolves is. I've seen it many times.
Yeah, that's because you're religious.
What?
Have you ever seen Postman?
I'm not religious.
You used to be, though.
What? I'm confused. What is Dances with Wolves?
See, now if you watched Monty Python, you would get the joke. But obviously, you should watch Monty Python, then you would get the joke.
No, I'm not gonna watch it because you want me to watch it. So I'm not gonna watch it.
No, hold on a minute. Anybody who writes comedy knows what Monty Python is. For you to say you don't know what Monty Python is, it's like saying you don't know calculus, or you don't know addition, or you don't know the sun comes up.
What is this? What is this? What is this calculus you speak of?
Yeah, exactly. Kazim, you know you gotta agree with me. That is just like serious.
I unfortunately did not get that far in math in my public school, so I never got to calculus. So
I'll never get to calculus.
Calculus is just fancy 1 + 1 = 2. That's all it is, really.
I got to real algebra, but that was it.
That is calculus.
I think I'm like the odd one out when it comes to school subjects, because math is actually my favorite subject in school. I'm actually taking it. I'm taking pre-AP Calc right now, and the year is almost up, and I'm going to be taking AP Calc next year. So I mean.
Are you in college or?
See, it's not that like.
I'm in 11th grade. I'm about to be a senior.
Oh, okay, me too.
So I'm saying he's in 11th grade, you take calculus. It's basically fancy 1 + 1 = 2. That's all
so
it is.
Are you 17 or 18 or what?
I'm 18. I turned 19 this year.
Okay, that's cool. I don't usually see people around my age around here. So.
All right, okay. I'm just gonna say for you people, calculus is the measurements of shapes with funny letters. That's all you need to know, basically. It's algebra with funny letters, but shapes.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get to calculus.
No, everybody uses calculus. It's basic addition and shit, but it gets only complex because you need to use like a different interpretation.
When we're in high school, what do we really use that's in this subject? Like, am I really gonna be 30 years old and be like, oh yeah, I remember this?
No. But the thing is, dude, when you use calculus, it literally is everyday stuff. It's how we build houses and just it's basic shit. It's just like, you know, if you're an engineer, calculus is what you need to learn. It's only because you need to, you know, understand the difference between like a triangle and a circle. But it's a lot more complex than that, obviously.
But I'm not an engineer, so.
No, I know, but you walk into a house with a door. That's someone who's learning calculus. You measure the door.
Oh. Well, I'll never get to calculus, so.
Well, you know, but you have to appreciate it.
There's a certain also. I mean, there's a certain. We will process things automatically. We use math all the time, but we don't necessarily know the labels for it. We don't know the how to break it apart the proper way, but we can see math and understand it right in front of us. Just like we can understand a song and how it works and all these intricacies without knowing the labels of them with music theory. we can think about music theory without actually knowing the labels. So this is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, I think the good example that I just gave there is music. The interpretation of the music is for everybody's interest, right? So you got different tastes in music. You can't really have a different taste in mathematics, but you can understand the basic, which would be the language of music, right? So I would say that people understand math, but they don't know how to, make what would it be, a band or write music, so to speak. Some people got that, some people haven't. I mean, I understand mathematics. I'm not great at it. I understand the principles, so to speak, but I could never. Well, okay, let's give you another example. I can play bass, but I'm shit at writing music, so to speak. I'm just shit at music, but I understand music. It's the same way with math.
Yeah, just people can have a great understanding of math and still not be able to actually create anything with it. Build anything using the principles they learn from it, all that. But they can still have an understanding, just like the opposite thing with, where someone can have no actual understanding of any of the labels for that stuff and still build a lot of things and create a lot of things that people normally break apart using those labels. Just like with music, someone can have no training at all, have no idea what even the notes are named, and still create something amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's how I learned to play bass actually, Kazum. When I first started playing bass, I did everything by ear. But if you asked me to write down musical notes, yeah, I would be like, I got no fucking idea, but I can play the bass. So,
Ace of base.
So, does anybody have any suggestions of what TV show I should go through on Netflix?
Red Dawn.
Adventure Time.
No, I just seen a new one on YouTube. I can't remember what it's called.
Arrow.
No, it's called, it's funny because I was going to say before, because someone brought it up, Black is Orange. That's a new series, which looks funny for me.
But that's not going to be on Netflix.
No, it's actually on Netflix. It's a prison drama, a comedy.
What's it
with
called?
Like a black woman, and it's like a black woman and some white woman. It looked funny to me, but I don't know if you're into like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're. I think you're. Are you talking about Orange is the New Black?
Yeah, but it was a series.
Yeah, Orange is the New Black is a series. I've already seen that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it was new. I only seen it like yesterday.
Oh yeah, it's a good show.
I only just seen it, so I'm gonna have to like look for that because it looked funny. Like, there's only a few things that I find funny when there's like adverts, but that looked good.
There's lots of hot prison sex.
Hey, Jose.
Nobody? God, tough crowd.
Try Lost Girl. You might like that.
What are all these shows you speak of? Lost Girl and...
Lost Girl is about a succubus.
Lost...
She knows that she's a succubus. Well, at first she doesn't know that she's a succubus.
That looks interesting. Let's see.
She gets drawn into the world of what they call fairies, but yeah, it's mythological creatures.
What's a succubus? Is that a fairy or?
It's basically a demon who looks sexy to draw you in and suck your soul.
Is it a good show or?
I think it's a decent show.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen it. To be honest, I don't watch that many TV shows. Really, I'm more interested in like intellectual talk on this shenanigans.
No, I think if it was on here too long, I'd
shenanigans.
probably go crazy.
Pitiful?
Oh god, when he said shenanigans, I started thinking of that guy who made the "Don't show hashtag gay acts on my TV."
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Talking shenanigans?
Like, hold on a minute, is there something wrong with my English accent, you fucktards? Shenanigans is a well-known used word in English. I don't know, because you guys are
No, it's just because that word, it's the most recent use of it is from that guy, that anti-gay guy that was saying that them kissing on TV was their shenanigans. It's just,
Yeah, I gotta.
Oh, so he's trying to seem more intellectual than he actually fucking is then. Shenanigans is kind of like a funny word. It just means like anything.
They eat the poo poo.
Yeah, when you get into them shenanigans.
They eat the poo poo.
Yeah, like ice cream.
Yeah, but about that "Don't show gay acts on my TV" guy. If he really doesn't want to see two guys kiss on his TV, I got a simple solution for you. If you're watching this, change the fucking channel.
Change it. Yeah.
Ooh, I did an old school motion. I'm going, change the channel as if there's a knob to turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, how I'm showing my age.
I don't understand why it's such. I don't understand why it's such an issue for people. Why it's such a big deal. I mean,
I guess they've just been conditioned to just see stuff, even though it's kind of a weird thing.
They've been indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I don't like to say like they're stupid, dumb idiots, but like that's.
I mean, if you're a kid, when you're a kid, I can understand, but I just think at a certain age, like at a certain point, shouldn't you just start thinking about things a little more rationally? I don't understand. It's like we got fucking 40-year-old, 50-year-old guys fucking still stuck in this mentality and shit. And it's like, dang, dude, like, do you guys?
That's just humans. Like, that's just human. Like, some people are just immature.
Yeah, it's like
also religion. I mean, we have to be.
So two guys love each other. So what?
Yeah.
The Bible says it's not okay to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
hold on a minute. I mean, this is the point, right? It's like when I don't want to get into like a religious thing here, because I don't think there's that many religious people in here. But when people say, "Oh, but God doesn't," fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that the way it is.
I don't think it's even for people that use the Bible or any religion as an excuse to be like homophobic. It's so ridiculous to me because
it's just
most
ridiculous.
people that. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just I grew up reading the fucking Bible. I didn't come from some like fucking weird family where we didn't know what the fucking Bible was, and it just somehow was like an enigma and shit. I think a lot of theists miss the point. Like, we read the fucking same Bible you did. They feel like, oh, we quote it, like it makes you any more justified to say the stupid shit you do. No, it doesn't. You ignorant cunts.
In their mind, it does. I mean, they're talking. They think morality and laws comes from the Creator, and they think the Creator said being gay is bad. So, in their view, they're just
therefore
they're fucking stupid. That's all.
Yeah,
there's something I don't get because
even as a deist, I have to disagree with that.
Well, yeah, they're not entirely. Well, they're not.
I'm not like a Christian or anything. I'm a deist. So basically, I do believe in God, but like I'm not for organized religion like at all. So.
Well, there you go. I mean, I could agree with that form of religion. I mean, if we was to subject it to that kind of level of scrutiny, then I would say, well, that would be my kind of religion, where people, agree to believe in a God. But don't judge other people. I mean, why do that? Why judge someone else's lifestyle and like think you're better than them? That's fucking so against human nature for me.
I don't
even think the word lifestyle even works when it comes to like homosexuality or anything like that. Because I'm bisexual. Because it's not a lifestyle, it's an orientation. I think people need to learn there's a fucking difference.
Yeah, but they cannot learn that. They cannot even admit that. To admit that would make God unjust, essentially.
Well, you know what?
I mean, there's a certain amount. I mean, the only way that I can see them calling something a lifestyle is when someone completely steps away from the standard heteronormative
but what is that?
Christian kind of way of looking at relationships, and it has to be about monogamy, and it has to be about, you know, this certain view of sex that's still very common in our society. There's a lot of gay people, not all, but there's a lot that when they have had to step away from, to accept themselves, because when they've had to step away from these typical ways of looking at things, which usually includes homophobia, then they end up automatically living just a little bit differently and having a different approach on things than a lot of straight people. So in that regard only, it could be considered a different lifestyle, but that's a real stretch even then.
Well, I would say even me and Kazum, I know I'm going to say this, but I know me and Kazum disagree on this, but when I was saying like gay people have a choice, it's not the fact I don't want to get into that so much.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, I know, because me and Kazum just don't agree on this shit.
Your view on that really...
I know, but I get really deep into the whole physics of it.
Yeah, it's the thing of, do you choose what you like? And it's we really disagree on that.
Yeah, let's not get into that, okay, because that's not the point. I'm trying to use that as a basis for bouncing off it, so to speak. But the point is, like, you know, if you're a certain way, right, we can choose our lifestyles, and that's why I didn't want to confuse it with what we disagreed on. But in the sense of, like, can we choose to treat each other with respect? I think we can. And I think that was my point. I didn't want to go into the whole me and Kazum stuff, because me and him have got different ideas on how that originates, so to speak. So we'll leave that in the past.
I feel like it's important to note that I feel like this is probably where he's coming from, where I don't believe it's a choice. I just think like you're born with what you like, and therefore like if you like something, you can't really control what you like. But then there's also the argument that, you know, you can, even if you like something, you can control what you act with it. And then that's might be what he's going for. I'm not sure.
Well, no. Where he's going with is, well, I mean, some of the things that someone likes, you don't even know you like until you have seen it or kind of experienced. Oh, I do like that.
Well, that was where the choice came in.
That's yeah, exactly. He thinks that when you like something, you see something and you like it, that you've made a choice to like it, and that's where he and I completely disagree.
Yeah, only because I submit to the deterministic view of you don't have a choice, which I mean, Kazum would agree with that. You don't have a choice, right? And that's where I would agree, but I only recognize that the choice is there. It's not a choice what you would think is you know. You don't choose to be gay. I do understand what Kazum says in that respect, but what I was saying is you can't ignore that part of being human is relative to society, in a sense. I could be gay and choose not to be gay in society's eyes, right? I can excommunicate myself from the truth, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? So the choice would be there.
You mean be positive?
That would be a factor. No, I'm just saying...
Yeah, that is kind of right. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, it's just like, the choice is there. I could choose to be gay today if I wanted to, but whether that's a choice where... Kazum's saying it's inherent as to be gay in the sense of that's natural. And I'm not saying that's not true, right? But what I'm saying is...
I think there's predispositions. It doesn't necessarily declare that the person will be that way, but there's a predisposition, and then when... the life situation comes up and someone makes the connections, oh yeah, you know, that's kind of how it is. And, you know, even if there wasn't a predisposition, there can also be things that our subconscious decides for us. And the things our subconscious decides for us is not something we have made a conscious choice of. So, I mean, I believe in the possibility that being gay, there is a possibility that it might not be genetic, but whether it is or isn't,
No, I think
if our subconscious is to make a decision, that's not a conscious choice. You can't say that the person chose.
No, hold on. No, but what I'm saying is, if you look at the factors, right? Like, I can be a full-on heterosexual, but there's nothing stopping me from being gay in the sense, like, I can have sexual interactions with a male. Would I be classified as gay, or would I need to define myself as bisexual? You see, the whole label thing is what I was saying, and I weren't trying to, degrade being gay, because I do think being gay is genetic, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's nature doing its job, whatever job it is. I don't fucking know, but I think that's nature doing its job. But at the same time, I'm thinking, if you look at it as a physics and you take the whole emotion side out of it, I think the choice is deterministic, but unfortunately, free will comes into play as well. So it is fucking confusing, but I didn't want to make it, when we was having our discussion, I didn't want to demean what you were saying, and I think you think I did, and I didn't want to come across that way. Maybe my language was bad, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we choose whether or not we accept things about ourselves.
Well, I guess that was the point I was trying to make, in essence. It's the choice whether we accept it, so to speak. Maybe, like I said, maybe my language was not up to scratch, so to speak.
Keep in mind, there is a difference between being a certain way and acting a certain way. Like you always point out, Kazoom, that you don't really like those hyper-effeminate gay people.
Well, it's not that there's...
Well, maybe not. Dislike is probably a bad word, but like those club scene people, they're acting that way, and that is a lifestyle. But there's a difference from that lifestyle versus being gay.
If I may, I think the biggest problem that's been pointing out is their determination to say, oh, if you're gay, you have to be this way. Not necessarily that because they are, it's bad.
Well, I mean, some of the things I've had a hard time with is where I end up, when I go to some places, at least in this part of the country, I've been told that it's very different in other parts, so I'm like, okay, cool, but in this part of the country, there have been places that I've gone where, like a gay bar, that I have heard people literally say, well, I don't trust people that trust gay men that aren't at least a little bit feminine, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's another place.
There's different perspectives of what gay is to the individual, right? I guess that would be correct. Like one man's gay is not the same man's gay or women, because gay doesn't mean just men. I think a lot of people get confused. Gay doesn't mean men. It means...
True, but it's kind of happened to our language, though. When people say gay, they usually associate it with men, just like when people think of a tissue, they say Kleenex.
It's even worse with how a gay label is, because it immediately makes people think about anal sex. That's how bad it is.
Well, no.
Think about, like, when you think about LGBT, they say lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Okay, they say lesbian and gay as separate, so it's already separated. When people say gay, it's an automatic assumption to be guys.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that's the sloppy label language thing that we've got going on, right? I mean, like me growing up, gay just meant happy. Gay was never associated with buggery. I mean, when I was growing up, buggery was like, faggots.
Oh man, I remember when
hold on a minute, hold on a second. I just want to point this out in the sense of English language. It's like, if you said faggot, then that was more offensive to a person who was homosexual than saying gay, because gay wasn't in the qualitative language. So it kind of, it's like the word nigger today. It's like, if you say the word nigger, it's okay on the BBC as long as it's got an A in it, but you can't say if it's got ER. Like, what's the difference? It's how the word progresses, and I think we should call it sexual, if anything. People are sexual. You know, it would make more sense than trying to attribute people with a certain label, because that's bad in any sense.
I think what's happening with some of the youth, and I'm very encouraged by it, with a lot of young people, is looking at sexuality just in general as very fluid. And that's not something our past generations have been able to do. I'm really in awe sometimes when what I see with people who are, 14 to 22 or something like that. That age range, when I hear them talking about the subject, I'm like, wow, that is such a step away from when I was their age. It's really neat to see. So there may not even be a need for people to even reference what someone's sexuality is in the future. It's just like, well, yeah, you like who you like. I see things kind of going there, and I'm impressed with it. I can't believe how far we've come since the 90s.
Yeah, I find it really interesting that Alfred Kinsey had those ideas in like 1941, but nobody gave a shit until like the past 10 years ago.
Well, actually, it was never, for a long time, it was never illegal to be, in love with the same sex, and that's only actually a recent thing to be in love with the same sex or whatever. That's a recent thing. No, it really is, and only people today find it weird.
Well, I mean, you go to the ancient Greek. I never read that much up on it, but I just know that I mean, I've read some of it, but it's just that they had
I'm a classic student, and
Achilles.
There used to be homosexuality used to be kind of a regular thing.
Yeah,
it was a
great example.
I was going to say that in Greek mythology, Achilles and Patroclus were lovers with each other, but the movie Troy changed that because those people doing that are homophobes.
Yeah. I mean, it was only, I will tell you, in history books. I'm from England. It was only in the
testing.
Yeah, we can hear you, dude. No need to test, but we can hear you.
Well, no, we couldn't hear him before, so.
Okay, my bad. It was in the 1800s that buggery became against the law. That was like only a century ago. So, well, in the century before the 19th century. So it's only a recent thing, even in modern England. It wasn't against the law to have a male guy or whatever. It's a recent phenomenon. It's like AIDS. That's
I guess I was speaking of homosexuality in ancient Rome is what I was meaning. So I
mean, you could say Caligula, for fuck's sake. He's one of the most famous gay.
Yeah, a lot of things back then, though, like within ancient Rome, were ruled by religion. So a lot of people were stoned.
That wasn't
pagans. They weren't Christians.
Yeah, it wasn't, and then the kind of Christians came by and just kind of stomped it all away.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hold on. I just want to just 1 second. It wasn't the Christians. It was the Romans doing that. The Christians were running amok, and they decided to co-opt Christianity because they knew that they couldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, they took it over.
Rome was already burning at that time, so what better to do than co-opt the next best thing, which was Christianity? That's why we celebrate, fucking Christmas and all that shit.
So basically, what they did was basically just stole the ideas of other religions and just apply it to their own. I mean, there's the Noah's Ark, the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Christmas Alliance of Saturnalia, which was a Roman thing that they did because when usually Saturnalia would be when they come back from war, and then they would have all the slaves together and all the people together, all the soldiers together, because nobody fought during the winter, and then they would do all their stuff. And ancient Rome in general, the position on basically any moral thing had to do with the emperor. If you look at the Julia-Claudian dynasty, they had a pretty strong liberal view of how sexuality went, to the point where the emperors like Claudius and Nero, up until Nero went insane, were pretty much openly just like bisexual and didn't really give a shit about anything. until, of course, they went insane. He went insane. So
that is some fucked up shit right there.
Yes, keep in mind there was also a separation between love and marriage, so...
Yes, that's very true.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can, get married to someone that you don't love. I mean,
there was a clear separation of love and marriage in ancient days. Actually, love as part of marriage is more of a recent thing.
Yeah,
it was treated as more of a business deal back then.
Yeah, in Rome,
it was a contract. It was a contract between people.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Sty or Steve, I'm not sure.
Just call me Bob. I don't give a fuck. It's okay.
Okay. Hello, Bob. Yeah, basically it was just a contract mostly, with the exception of like much poorer people, especially slaves. They had, I guess they based their whole idea of marriage more on love, but for the most part, which was citizens, and to be a citizen you had to have at least some property, most marriage was purely for business reasons.
Well, didn't like somewhere around, I remember somewhere around the Old Testament when saying something about if a man rapes a woman, that woman has to marry that man.
The man.
Well, yeah, but the Old Testament is fucking old as shit.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, the Old Testament is old. It's supposed to be. The funny thing is, though, is that Christians were supposed to. I mean, the funny thing is that Christians are still following parts of the Old Testament, which is really ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to follow,
I don't think anyone would disagree with that in this room, though.
No, they can't abandon everything in the Old Testament, because if they did, then the whole faith would crumble.
Yeah, think of the old, and I'm not trying to disrespect anything, although I know most of you aren't Christians in the first place, but still. Yeah. Think of the Old Testament like, let's say, The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, and then the New Testament like a fanfic somebody made on.
Yeah,
that's the best way to think about it in my head. Yeah. And if you don't have the Old Testament, that fanfic makes no sense. But
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The New Testament is, just a slight improvement to the Old Testament, because the Old Testament, in the Old Testament, it's all hateful towards homosexuality. In the New Testament, it's only like about.
No, man, come on, you can't.
No. The New Testament tries at least. This is the only credit I can give it as a former Catholic, is that I feel like the New Testament emphasizes more on like this new Abrahamic God is more loving than the Old Testament one. The Old Testament one is like, oh, you wanna not believe in me? I'm gonna fucking drown you to hell or whatever. And then the New Testament guy is just like, oh yeah, I'll send my son who is me. That doesn't make much sense to die to clean you because I love you, whatever that means. Like that's their one effort to make God not seem that much as an asshole.
God, regardless, it's still a freaking asshole. I mean, he's flooded the entire planet just because of he believes, or actually knows.
That's still Old Testament, though.
Yeah.
But all the gods.
No, I'm talking about Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark's in the Old Testament as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's there.
The New Testament is just a collection of like what Jesus told everyone, pretty much, and then some others.
Yeah, but the sad
there's also Paul. Actually, mainly it's Paul.
The New Testament is not just what Jesus told. In fact, it's mainly what Paul wrote. The majority of the book is about what Paul wrote.
His hallucinations, that is.
Yeah. The part about Jesus is only like the first 4 chapters. It's only the first 4 Gospels, and that's about it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my mistake to make that claim like that rashly, but motions.
Who cares? It's a shitty book anyway.
And Paul made it more preferable because of he was a tax collector and he wanted more of the Jews to join Christianity so he could collect more taxes from them, make himself look better.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the most rational explanation for what happened.
No. The most rational explanation is that he was inspired by God, of course. I'm kidding.
So, what the original topic here was rape clothing, apparently, right?
And somehow we managed to traverse to all the way to the Bible.
Yeah, somehow it always ends up there. So, what was the consensus here? What did we?
I just got here. I mean, like, I didn't know there was like a chat.
No. Yeah, I just came in because I saw Kazumi had the thing, and I was like, oh, I've never participated in a hangout with somebody.
I always wanted to be in the Google.
Yeah, like that was my whole thing. I was like, oh, would you look at that? Somebody that I watch on YouTube is having a hangout. I would love to join. That sounds like a good idea. So I did.
I'm glad you did.
I don't know where this conversation was.
It goes after we discussed the major thing. We were talking about the concept of clothing that can make it more likely for someone to get raped. It was the initial discussion, but then it kind of moved on from there, and it just goes wherever. It's random. It's totally random. Wherever it goes is wherever it goes.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, did we come to a conclusion about the rape clothing? Like, do we think that?
I don't even know what is the conclusion, or
that's what I'm asking.
We didn't. I think most of everyone in the room agreed that the idea that we shouldn't be trying to make people feel scared of wearing certain types of clothing because it might make they might increase their chances of getting raped. Yeah, we all. I think we all agreed that that's silly.
I mean, clothing has nothing to do with this. I mean, according to Thunderfoot, which I did subscribe to a long time ago, there are factors where you can control in avoiding getting raped. I mean, if you get drunk and you go in the back alley, chances are some rapist is going to be around the corner and take advantage of you. I mean, it doesn't matter what clothing you wear. If you are a woman, then you're going to get raped.
Well, like, to me, I feel that I don't know how exactly that conclusion was kind of odd, but I'll go to what I thought about in the beginning, which is that
I'm very confused.
If you're going to rape someone, and somebody is supposedly, I guess, provocatively dressed or whatever, that's only anyone saying that has something to do with it is just because the rapist is using that as an excuse to say that it's justifiable when it's really not. That's just another way of saying of them getting an excuse, but that doesn't have anything to do with it.
I mean, someone dressing a certain way can get someone more attention. It might, and dressing for attention isn't bad, but that kind of attention isn't saying, "Oh, I want to get raped." It's not saying that, someone getting more attention doesn't mean someone deserves to get raped. Or I'm just rambling now.
Guys, wait. Let me qualify. I'm a fan of Thunderfoot. And I understand what he's saying, and never did he say that because a woman behaves a certain way, they deserve to get raped. Never claimed that.
No, I'm not saying. I wasn't saying that was the stance of deserved to, but it's someone is more likely to kind of thing.
That is true. That is true.
But see, I think even the opposite could be true. That if someone is because rape is about power to a lot of degree. Mm-hmm. Now, someone is obviously going to want to be, if they want to get sexually aroused, they probably would want to be with someone that they find sexually attractive. But if someone is dressed really conservatively and in this way that says that sex would be inappropriate, then that's probably going to be their target, not the person who is dressed provocatively. It's going to be the one that is dressed conservatively. If the power is the main thing. So the argument of someone having to worry about the way they dress is just it's ridiculous to me.
No. You see, it's not that you have to. Well, you should worry about it, and you should worry I mean, we all do this. It's just, for example, I mean, do you walk with a pepper spray? Because I do, just for protection, just in case, and that makes you less likely to get mugged successfully or to get beaten up successfully. But that doesn't mean, you deserve to get mugged or anything. Thunderfoot is a hard person to understand, and he's picking up fights that are hard sort of to argue, and he makes a poor job of portraying his position, correctly. And
well, it doesn't help that you keep on twisting that he's saying you deserve to be raped when he's not saying that.
Yeah, I
so
wasn't
every
saying
time
that.
you say that, he's not saying you deserve to be raped. It's saying that it's a factor in the matter of whether you do get raped or not. It is a factor.
Are you addressing
how much you want to portray it as you can control that, but is another issue.
I'm going to go back to the pepper spray example, okay? Pepper spray isn't something that you wear on your whole body. Pepper spray is something that is a self-defense thing. That's not the same thing at all as making yourself appear completely differently. It's totally different.
To make an analogy that is exactly analogous to clothes. Let's say you are wearing something that makes you look stupid, weak, and not be able to protect yourself. By doing that, you make yourself more likely to be mugged. And by going into locations where there are known muggers or situations where there is no help close by definition, you're statistically speaking, you're making yourself more likely to be mugged.
You're going to be more. You're going to
deserve that.
You're going to get mugged. You get mugged if you look rich is when you're going to get mugged. If you look like you're made of money.
That depends on who is who targets you.
I just have to ask a thing. What do you I can't pronounce things. If someone dresses casually, would you really think someone would say, "Oh, I'm not going to rape or mug that person because they look casual"?
No.
Actually, it could be
unless this guy has bodyguards all over all over him, I don't think that guy. I think everyone would think that every mugger would think the exact same thing. That as long as this guy's defenseless, he has the opportunity to mug the guy, take his money, maybe even murder him, and then go off in the night. Hopefully that Batman doesn't pop out of nowhere and just beat the living crap out of him.
Well, it's like, okay, I just know for myself, when I know I'm going to go to an area that's just crap, that people would have to worry about getting mugged, when I have to go there, I make myself look homeless. And I never ever get bothered.
Well, that's actually not that hard to do. I mean,
yeah, because of my beard and stuff. But I mean, I'll wear some old jacket that I never wear. I normally would have almost thrown out. It's all torn up or something like that. I'll go to one of those areas wearing that, and that decreases that element. Because,
you also might want to,
because people are going to assume I have no money.
Or smell bad. Try. If there's like some sort of spray that makes you smell bad, then you should probably try that too.
I think we found a solution. Just don't shower whenever you go anywhere to strangers.
That's what I do. I don't shower. I mean, I do shower, but not as often as like every day. I mean, I shower like every 3 days.
Guys, I've recorded it. Emmanuel doesn't shower. Keep it forever.
Yeah, this is live. Don't forget.
In the sense
I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed.
Who rapist target? It's, as far as I've heard, like if I remember right, it's about the confidence that someone exudes. So, if you dress more sexy, you're exuding more confidence a lot of times. So,
right.
That's actually kind of the opposite of that whole thing. But it doesn't dismiss the fact that dressing does play some factor in that.
Well, that's making the assumption that whatever the word sexy means is not subjective at all.
I mean, are you saying that, like... Shit, hold on, I'll get my thoughts back again, because anyway, sorry.
It's okay. I hate when that
You
happens.
know what War Corps suggested? For a self-defense weapon, a knife.
Yeah.
Knife? Really? That doesn't suit.
Yeah, War Corps 666. Kazumi and I watch him all the time, right? Kazumi.
Who's that?
Well, I don't watch him all the time. Some of his videos, I see these titles, I'm like, nah, I don't want to see his perspective on that. But there's some that I'm like, okay, I want to see his perspective on this. So.
Yeah, I didn't remember that you made a video about War Corps 666 about girls' hairstyle. This one weird.
Yeah, and he was basically suggesting that he's saying that women should dress to impress guys instead of just trying to dress the way that they want. I think people should dress the way they want. If you should dress the way you want, look the way you want, present yourself the way you want. Now, there might be this element that people who dress the way they want and they say they have this element that they're in control. Maybe there's some rapists out there who think it's a challenge to try to get to rape someone who has a more dominant personality. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to. I was writing that in one of your videos, comment sections, that if you're wearing something very casual or trying to hide your body, maybe that would make a rapist think like they even want more to rape because they think that you're a modest, stuck-up person or something. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, just to me, the thing is, there are so many things that could drive someone to rape someone. Like we're just talking about, one person might want someone they can control easy. Another person might want someone that's a challenge to control. Another one someone looks, oh, well, this person, I don't know, there's all these different reasons for it. And to think that someone could actually pinpoint, oh, well, if I dress this way, I'm less likely to get raped, is bullshit, because there's always these different things that someone raping someone might have.
There's always different factors.
Wait, hold on. You see, you're kind of right, it is hard, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just highly likely that there is some preferred target for these smugglers, probably.
I don't think so. I don't think there's even any evidence for that.
Well,
there's evidence for so many different ways of it that it to try to say it's just one thing and then tell people, well, you should do it this way, or you'll have less problems if you do it this way. It doesn't seem right.
And this is why these feminists enjoy abusing the term, don't teach me not to get raped, teach them not to rape. Because, they think that society is not teaching people not to rape. Of course we're teaching not to rape. Rape is bad. Murder is bad. What else is bad? Stealing is bad.
I think the thing is, a lot of the people on the opposite side of the feminists are so angry when feminists say teach people not to rape, and yet you're telling people to be afraid that men are going to rape you. You're saying you're complaining about this, but you're saying the same message. It's feeding each other.
I did not see that. I gotta remind myself of that. Oh,
I mean, isn't that the truth? I mean, it's the same message.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd like to hear Dragon's and Art's view on this. I mean, aren't these not the same thing?
Oh, can you repeat it, please?
Basically, what we're telling women when we say that. Tell women that, well, if you want to reduce your risks of being raped, you should not dress this way, or you should dress this way. But that whole thing is telling women you should be afraid of being raped. And yet, the thing that a lot of you complain about, which I complain about too, is our feminists saying, oh, we need to teach men not to rape. We need to no, that's not it. It's shit. Hold on. I've had there's three.
Yeah, they say don't tell us. Okay, I forgot it too. I have a brain fart too.
Yeah, I just really bad brain fart. Just awful.
Well, okay. Well, I see what you're saying. Well, I would not say that to a woman necessarily.
It's the all men are rapists thing. The all men are potential rapists. We get mad at people saying all men are potential rapists. And yet it's on the other side, we're telling women to be afraid that men are all rapists. It's just,
well,
we're saying the same thing.
Well,
not exactly.
That is kind of difficult, because from from ontology speaking, not all men are rapists. That is not true. But from each person's perspective, all men are rapists because they don't know if that person is or is not a rapist. They have to evaluate whether or not he is a rapist or he's not a rapist. You see?
But isn't that the same thing? Isn't it the same thing as how feminists are expecting guys to read their minds in order to know whether or not it's appropriate to leave them a compliment on their body?
Not sure exactly. What is this? Leave a compliment on their body. What is this?
Like if someone, a lot of feminists are saying that to sexually objectify someone and to leave a positive comment about their body is degrading and is considered sexual harassment, and that and we shouldn't do that. Don't do that, like what elevator gate lady said.
Hey girl, that booty fly, Rebecca Watson.
Yeah, and they're.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Right.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of conflicted. I'm thinking about this as I'm going on. Essentially, I didn't thought about this.
Possibly eliciting attention from someone that may have those proclivities is not the same thing as saying all men are rapists or that you should believe all men are rapists. It's the same thing as if you dress with your wallet out and flashing money, it will elicit the attention of muggers.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just saying that there is a possible danger here, and you should be aware of that, so you can correctly analyze the situation. I think it's focused on too much, and I think it, like I said in the comments, it's not enough to fucking change my behavior in both situations, because it's not a targeted, like, no one's going out of their way to just go and rape one single person. They're just sort of randomly picking their targets. Same thing with like muggings. No one's actually going around going, I'm going to mug that motherfucker and I'm going to follow him around and wait for him to get into the thing. No, it's completely different situation from, say, if you were dropped in Iraq. Well, yeah, you want to wear body armor because you have someone actively targeting you to be shot.
Yeah.
There's a difference there. But it's this the fact that it does change, however minor or it may be, it is there. And regardless of whether it is there or not, people are going to say it, like I pointed out in the comments, or think it when they're in that situation. And I'd rather have it that someone tell me that, no, it is a factor, but it's only like a 1% factor or a 2% factor in the whole thing, rather than just these idiots going around going, no, it's not a factor at all, because that doesn't seem reasonable.
Okay,
in the slightest.
That is, I liked your description of this. It's just some people are, and to me, Thunderfoot's one of them, making it sound like it's very important, like it's a major factor. And to me, to put it in that category is ridiculous. To me, it's such a small factor that people should not worry about it at all.
I'm also really bothered that we need to tell that, because it's, I mean, what's most common, to get a bullet in your head or being raped, just for instance, because in that case we should tell people, oh, you should wear a helmet outside because it will decrease your chances of getting a shot in the head.
Yeah, actually, as I pointed out in those comments, again, it's nearly identical for the type of rape that we're talking about. It's like 20 in 100,000, which is a 0.0002% chance of it happening to you, or a 1 in 5,000 chance of happening to you each year. and like you have a lower, the chance that you'll die from a car accident in high school before you graduate is like 1 in 15. So, but you're not going to stop driving. You're not going to stop driving with your friend. You're not going to stop riding with your friend. You're going to keep on driving, even though it's a very high chance that you're going to die in comparison.
You know, I would agree, but it might change. It depends on how actually important these factors is and other factors. We don't have statistics on that yet, but I agree that this is a not important issue, and I don't think Thunderfoot was bringing this up. He was actually responding to the feminazis saying that this is not an issue. You should ignore that. And he was
if it's not important enough to, I mean, if it's such a small percentage, why bring it up at all?
Well, because the feminazis were saying that it is not important at all. You should not even.
It isn't.
Well, no, it's a factor, but it's a small factor.
If it's that small of a factor, then why bring it up? As if it's anything.
He's a scientist. He thinks about things mathematically, and he thought it might be a factor, and it's open question. I think maybe it is. It depends on what are the target, what victims do these rapists prefer. There probably is some sort of pattern, you know.
Yeah, there is some research, but there are so few actually rapists of this category. It's almost impossible to get a realistic view of what it is. So.
Right, and you have to remember, Thunderfoot never said this is about whether or not they deserve to be raped, and he. Again,
I know that there's feminists are labeling him that way, and I'm not trying. I certainly hope I haven't come off as if he's saying they deserve it. I sure haven't meant to come off that way. I know that it has to do with
just the
probability.
Yeah. Yes, and I grant you, I hate it almost that he tries to argue this, because it's a stupid way. You don't argue these incredibly complicated points with internets basically, internet people and feminazis and etc. You just stick to clear facts, and I would actually love for him to get back to bashing creationists.
Hey, I have a better solution. How about instead of trying to compare who has the worst issues, why don't you try to fix both of them instead of bitching about which one has the worst issues?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this too. I mean, both sides have some major issues with them, and they don't seem to be willing to look at them. No, our side's perfect. We're great. There are some extremists there, but they're not important. We're great. We're perfect. It's just
exactly.
You need to address these problems.
These insults around like feminazi and MRA, when really you should be looking at both the issues and seeing. How can we make each other equal instead of constantly insulting each other?
Whoa. I'm not saying all feminists are feminazis. I'm talking about feminazis, the neo-feminists, the extremists.
What is going on?
Dakota, please, you have music on. Okay. I was never saying that all feminists are feminazis. Not at all. I'm pro gender equality. Absolutely.
It's just funny how so many of these YouTube feminists, if you have a problem with any one thing of what they're saying, that you hate women, you're a misogynist, you're against women's rights, all these labels, just because you have a problem with one element of what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's common among humans, really. It's just tribalism, essentially. And generalization.
I don't see that happening as much, honestly, and I call me out if I'm wrong, but I don't see the MRAs doing that quite as badly. I see people being able to pick apart things about the MRA movement a little bit more without them saying, "Well, you're against everything that we stand for."
Yeah, I have no much, I don't know much about this though. But it is a common thing, really. If you look at, the conflicts that are right now, they always start with some form of generalization. One person or one small group, one group of people attacks the other group. The other group says, "Look, they're evil because they did that to us." They don't distinguish these different groups within that group's people, and they attack them all, and you have a war.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my 5 cents.
I hate to. My ability to debate is kind of diminishing. I have not eaten anything yet today, and I've been up since like 7 in the morning, and I'm just getting kind of. I'm just not able to think very clearly. So I need to. Yeah.
Go eat.
Yeah.
By zombies.
So I need to truly be away from the hangout completely for a bit, and I probably I think I'm gonna stop the broadcast, and because well, honestly, if I'm not here, I never know what could be talked about, and if something came up that violated any sort of terms of service, it's on my channel. So.
Well, if you know
something, but you can continue. You're welcome to continue the discussion. It's just not going to be broadcast. So.
Okay, sure. Just a small note: if you know some people here very, very well and you trust them, you can give them administrative controls. Even though I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I don't know how to do it.
I don't know how to do that, but.
Control room, I think.
Let's see here. Oh. Well, yeah, but you would have to have access to the control room, and I don't know how to give other people access to that. So.
Well, I wasn't asking for myself. You can give it to anyone you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know how.
I don't know how to do that yet either. So. But
okay, never mind that.
Well, anyway, it's been great talking with everyone, and I am going to again. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and thanks everyone for watching. And okay.